Welcome, channel members. I see PK Joe in the house. I see Advocate for Justice, Baby Aaliyah, Deborah Jackson, Cherie Moore. I see Tanja J. Thank you. I hope I said that right. I see S. McNeil, Angie. I see Vanessa Jones, Pam Grigsby. I see Dana King. Thank you all, Jeanette Stewart. You know what, y'all? We're going to have a little bit of fun tonight. It's my first time really opening up my world and stretching myself to bring you all on to share your viewers' perspective. Okay? So don't be shy about coming on. You don't have to be on camera. And if you get stuck, I have enough experience to ask you the right questions to get you moving along in the right direction. So tonight we are talking love and marriage, Huntsville. A very hot and heavy topic. I just jumped off of a live quick interview with Melody on her Instagram. That was a lot of fun. So I dropped the link in the chat. And if you would like to come up, we are talking love and marriage, Huntsville tonight. I have a lot of thoughts. I've shared them with you openly and freely. I still have a lot of thoughts on top of that, right? Every time I walk away, thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Deb. They say you did a really great job. Thank you. That was impromptu for me, and I'm actually in my closet. I navigate around my house based on my creative energy. Different parts of my house inspires me. Sometimes I work from my office. Sometimes I have to move upstairs, downstairs. So whatever it is that I need to do to be able to keep that creative flame going, that's what I do. Without further ado, I am going to open up the live stream right now. I'm putting the chat in a link. No special requirements. I got my first person, Marita. Yes, Marita was actually the winner. I don't know if you guys remember this. Let me bring you up, Marita. Marita was actually the winner of the Rudolph. Yes. Hello.
Yes. I remember that. Oh, and I must commend you. You did an excellent job with your questioning.
Thank you.
I could imagine that was exciting and just speaking with Mel. Okay, here we go about a marriage, love and marriage, Huntsville.
Yeah.
Where do we start? Oh,
you take us where you want us to go. We'll follow, and then I'll come up with questions based on how you drive the car.
Oh, okay. Well, last night I finished watching because everybody was talking about Dustin.
And somebody says, you don't have a cold, do you, Queen? Your voice sounds a bit off. That's because I don't have my microphone. The halls. Marita, I think you may be on mute for whatever reason.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
You muted.
Oh,
your sound went away. But yeah, the halls, it's me. I just don't have my my regular microphone. It decided to act up.
Because I'm not on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Apparently not. I don't think she can hear me.
I don't know what you did, hon, but you muted yourself.
Let me see. How can I tell you? I'm not on mute.
And I have the link in the chat while Marita's doing a sound check. Oh, she's coming back. There you are. Let's see if we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
You're still on mute.
Oh, well, let me just drop and I'll come back at a later time.
But you look great. Still
on mute. I'm at work too.
Y'all can hear Marita? They say they can hear you. I can't.
Oh, for real?
Maybe it's me. Hold on, Marita. Marita, let me hear. I can't hear Marita. They say they can hear.
They can hear?
It's me. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Wow. Everybody can hear you.
I can hear you.
Can you give me a test? I could hear you at first, but I can't hear you anymore.
Well, I can hear. Oh, and I don't want to be on camera.
Oh, that's what I did. Is I
Yeah,
put your
you put me
camera
on
thing.
camera. I don't want to be on camera.
Oh.
I am not looking my best, not right now.
They can hear you, Marita. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
That must be mine. Hold on,
Yeah,
y'all.
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I had it on mute. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh.
I
Well,
guess you're still excited from talking with Mel, but anyway, Mel is she is such just like a lot of the bloggers were saying. She's very inspirational. She's a down to earth person, and just to come. Not I'm not saying y'all are smaller content creators, but you guys are the ones out there that's really, really making a difference and keeping things popping with what's going on, with Love and Marriage Huntsville. And not only did I think you did a good job, I think everybody did a good job. And and her question, she didn't have to, when a person has to do like that when they're answering a question, to me that's pretty much like you getting ready to tell a lie. Are you trying to fill in, trying to think of a lie to tell? So I like the answers that that she gave and stuff like that. And when she said that she was getting ready to start another project, I knew something was in the works with Mel because as soon as people start attacking her, and she already said for every demon 5 blessings. So I knew something was getting ready to happen for her. I listened to the Dustin Rose interview with Carlos, and that was so telling. You know, as far as Carlos is concerned,
Oh my God.
because
Hmm.
Carlos, he was trying to to me he was almost like trying to downplay Mel a little bit and uplift Tisha, and it just was not it wasn't working for me. And when Dustin is just set him straight and say, look, I'm a millimeter, and but he was fair in his in some parts of his analysis analogy about about the show. The only part I didn't like was when he was talking about Kimmy. um Kimmy is a backbiter. Um, Kimmy is not a person that could be trusted. Kimmy is what my grandmother and my great grandmother would call nice, nasty person. She appears to be, oh, birds and, all of that kind of stuff. But behind your back, she's stabbing you while she's, talking to you. And when he, said that Tisha is stuck in the second season, I almost passed out because it's true. It is so true. And I'm pretty much, for me,
I need this. Sorry.
I'm pretty much over Love and Marriage Huntsville because it's exhausting to watch. It's
Hmm.
exhausting to see men gang up on male, and then the way Maurice, oh my God. And then Tisha with them puppets and Maurice just laughing like that was just the funniest thing since Eddie Murphy Raw came out or something.
And
I
that was
just,
in the 80s. That was in the 80s, right?
yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm just so over it right now. I need a break. When they break, I need this break from Love and Marriage Huntsville because it's just like only so much a person could take. And Mel is a God fearing woman and she is protected because if that happened to a woman with weaker shoulders, they wouldn't been able to withstand the pressure that this woman has to be under dealing with these people. It's like having a bunch of kindergartners that's hyped up on sugar.
Well, you said something that stood out to me. And you talked about, and I see you all in the back chat, Advocate for Justice, Hannah Grace. I see Lady D, hang tight. I see Debbie Ln, hang tight. You're all coming up. So I wanted to address something that you said, Marita. You said that his interview with Dustin Ross was very telling to you from the
Yeah,
perspective of a viewer. And I really feel like the viewer's perspective is important, right? I have a perspective as a blogger and as a content creator, but sometimes you guys can catch things from a neutral perspective. And I think I have to agree with you. As much as I like to try to stay, I don't even know if I stay in the middle of it. I think I stay in the middle of being direct. I'm very direct. There was some things that Dustin said, in my opinion, that should not have been a surprise to Carlos. Like, why is that shocking to you? Because if you stay in a producer's role, you should be able to see this from all angles. And I've said it time and time again. I feel like Carlos has gotten too close for comfort. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, actually, I think the same thing because you remember when he said him and Melody be on the phone and they be laughing about things. We just laugh about some of this stuff. And then I don't know, someone asked Mel that question tonight on the live. And I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I'm just going to paraphrase and take it the way I thought she was saying. She said, "Yeah, we talk, but we ain't like that. We don't talk like that." So you know what I don't know what he told y'all, but what I'm telling you is something totally different. So for me, Carlos is a lot. For me, Carlos lies a lot. He tries to um, make it seem like him and Mel are closer than what him and Mel.
Uh-oh. I think we lost her. Marita, I think you may have accidentally deleted yourself, but that's okay. Feel free to come back up. We can move on to Lady Keys. Lady Keys, mic check 1 2 1 2. Are you there?
Hey. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome to the show. You sound great, Queen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell us what's on your mind tonight.
Thank you. And Queen Sheba, I love you. You are one of my favorite YouTubers. One of them.
Oh my
And
God.
happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And thank you so much. Like I said it today. Like, listen, one thing about me, I am a huge supporter of bloggers, of women, of men doing great things. If I follow you, I'm going to like your stuff all day. I have no problem shouting people out, liking you, giving you credit. I do not shy away from greatness because I feel like there's enough room for me to learn from others. So I'm a small fish in a pond, which is why I said to Melody, hey, listen, you got some heavy hitters behind you on YouTube. So thank you
Yes.
so much from that compliment. I'm still learning. There's still room for me to grow. There's some phenomenal women and men on YouTube in this space. But thank you. Thank you for just giving me a little bit of grace as I continue to learn
you're
and evolve.
welcome.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about starting my own YouTube page. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know yet.
Press
But
play. Go for it.
ma'am,
Press play and go for it.
girl, I don't know how to do it yet. So I'm just like trying to figure that out. But okay. So my thing was with the reunion, it was good. Girl was giving me my whole entire life. The thing about it was Tisha got on my nerve. I can't stand Tisha. I do not like her because she's so fake. She came from Melody when Melody was going through her divorce and her time. She sat there and smirked the whole time. You know, they were going through their divorce and they were going through their issues.
Mm-hmm.
And another blogger said, it's not fair. Everybody wanted to destroy this woman's marriage. And it's okay that, you know, Mel went through the divorce and now she's trying to make her go through a lust. No, she's not trying to do that. Marcel was doing that. That's her husband's fault. If he kept his stuff at home, like Marcel should have did, then it wouldn't have been all that hatred between them two. Because I think Tisha hates Melody. And it's like, why? Because Melody is a good person and she's God that elevated that girl to a whole nother level. But it's her spirit. Mel is a God-fearing woman. You could tell by looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
She believes in God. So it's like, come on, leave a woman alone. Get your own life together before you worry about somebody else's life.
So what do you think the point of contention is when you sit back as a viewer and when you come up and you say, you know, I think Tisha has a problem with Melody? For you as a woman, what strikes you as, do you have like a specific example like that really strikes close to home?
I think she's jealous of her.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I see. It's like, because anything that woman touches turns to gold.
Mm-hmm.
Anything she do, it's like leveling up. And she does it for her kids. So her kids can have a legacy. When she's, you know, Lord forbid, God, you know. So I mean, it's just ridiculous how
Quick question for
crazy it
you
is.
before you leave. If you were
Yes,
married,
ma'am.
let's just kind of like put ourselves in a. By the way, I'm a millimeter. Period. But
Me
I
too.
like to play fair. Sometimes I like to play devil's advocate just to look at it from a different perspective, right? Because it's always good to be well rounded. But let's just
Yes,
say
ma'am.
you're a married woman. You
Hmm.
have a husband that you feel like he's doing the best he can. You ain't really had a problem with him the way Tisha's describing. You've never caught him cheating. Just say by the way Tisha's depicting everything. How would you move? What would you do if people came to you and insinuated that your husband was cheating and never quote unquote brought you proof? What do you think your thoughts would be on that as a wife?
Uh, if I was a wife like Tisha,
Mm-hmm.
if I was a wife like that, I probably would say, give me some proof. Give me the proof. I'm ready for it. That would be mine. That would be me. Because if you got proof, give me the proof. I want to see the proof. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, God would definitely have to come down and tell me my husband cheating on me. No, 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 no. If you got proof, I want to know the proof you got. And I see it with my own two eyes, then I will believe you. And I will leave him. Because I don't think if Tisha found out today or tomorrow or next year that Tisha was cheating on him, I don't think she would leave him. I don't think she would leave him. I think she would stay. And what I think is going on is she let him cheat in peace. I think she let him cheat in peace. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think she cares that he's cheating on her. Because as long as she got a husband, she good.
I
That's
think
what I think.
I think she's pretty much taken a stance, and it is what it is. I think she's told us more than once and twice. I'm standing for my family. It's family over everything. Come hell or high
Hmm.
wind. Yeah, and
Right,
you know what? You can't do anything but respect it, right? Whether she's choosing to
right.
let
It's
him
true.
cheat in peace, turn a blind eye, whatever we want to call it. I think she's
Right.
standing 10 toes down in what she believes. But at the end of the day, it produces great TV. It produces very
Yes,
interesting moments, and it gives us YouTubers a lot of content. And with that being said,
yes, ma'am.
what? Yeah, thank you, Lady D, for tuning in with
But
us.
but can I say one more thing and then I'm gonna get off? I
Absolutely.
love I love what you're doing with the Shanquilla story, and you all just as well as we do. I I watch you when you tell the Shaquilla story. I watch all of your stories on her, and you broke that down, girl. You broke it all the way down, and you were all the way right.
Thank you
You were
so
all
much.
the way right.
That
I'm
story
sorry to
takes a
dismiss
lot.
the story, but
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine. No, that's fine. No, that's fine. That takes a lot though. When I do the Shanquilla coverage, I have to literally decompress for a day or two. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
that takes a lot of thought, a lot of research, a lot of thinking,
Yes,
and that audience is a very tough audience. As you can see, if you go through the comments,
I
they take
do.
no prisoners. And they don't show a lot of grace. So I really stepped outside of my territory by even touching that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And, and when you go live about that, girl, I be ready. Sometimes I miss it and I just watch the replay, but I still try to get it in because I want to see what your thoughts are about the whole situation.
Well, I'll be
But I
updating within the next 24 to 48 hours. But thank you. Thank you. I had to pull away because I felt like I got a little bit too close to something and I had to kind of think about my own well being. So, yeah.
Yes, your
Thank
own
you.
safety. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I would love to talk to you off here about it if you can, if you can, if you
Well,
can.
find me on Instagram. Send me a DM and I would love to chat more.
Okay. Okay. So is it still Queen Sheba on there?
Queen Sheba Darling.
Oh, Queen Sheba, darling.
Queen
Are you on
Sheba.
Facebook as well?
No, not on Facebook, but you can
Oh,
find me on
okay.
Instagram, Queen Sheba, and you'll see the profile picture.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
All
Have a
right.
good
Thank you.
one.
You too, hon.
Okay, thank you.
You
All right, next up, we have Hannah Grace. Hannah, mic check 1, 2, 3.
Yes, hello. How's it going, Queen Sheba?
It is going. Thank you. So good to have you here. You sound lovely. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, and you sound lovely as well. I did see your interview with Melody as well, and I saw your part one of the reunion as well.
What are your thoughts? Tell me what you're thinking.
So,
Whether you agree or not. Like, this is an open space, right?
now, one thing,
Share freely.
yes, one thing I remember you saying about Melody when she revealed that she had a new man in her life. That was, I think you said, step one or first move or something like that. And then Martell came out. That was the second move that he came out with his, part. He's escorting Sheree to her birthday party. So you know what? I was on target with you because I know you look at the psychological moves, how people think and how they act. And a lot of times you already know people's behavior. Now, you may not be able to know it, but you can project it, or you can kind of figure out, what the odds are that they're going to act a specific way. So you said for Melody, so not to make a move. And that was my exact thought. Don't reveal anything, because that is what he wants her to do. Because he does not know who it is. He's trying to make her reveal who this person is. And that could be the worst mistake that she could make at this point. That's what I think. Now, what do you think about that? I think that's what you said.
Yes. It's funny because I call it, I love to talk to other women. I love masterminding. I don't know if you caught this on Melody's live today. I'm a product manager. My job is to think for a living, and that you don't see a lot of African-American women in that space at all. So a lot of times I'm up against the odds when I think outside the box, or when I say something, or when I refer to market, what the market demands are, or how you predict the behavior of the market, right? Based on a product and how to make people money. So you have to be willing to stand, like the young ones say, 10 toes deep on what you believe firmly, based on predictability, data, and also behavior of the market. So when I think about what I do for a living, sometimes it's real easy for me to say, this is what he's about to do. And it sounds so crazy, right? You'd be like, no, he's not. He's not going to marry her. No. When you think about human behavior, the driving force is to win. Win. You, me, all of us, the goal is to win. So if Martell wants to win and looks like the husband that didn't have the problem, and it's her, and the gang up mentality and the mentality and the energy that they're coming with Melody against, what card would you play if you were Martell? I would marry Sheree, because I'm not the problem. Melody's the problem. And not only that, I got a bigger and a better queen with more profitability, a larger platform, more visibility, blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yes,
Now, the only problem I have with that, if I should say this, if I can't say this, listen, Martell, I don't think he's gonna. I did hear your commentary when you said that, but I don't think he's gonna marry anyone. He may give her the ring, he may string her along for years, but his baby mama is going to do everything she can. Like, she never went away with Melody. She's not going nowhere with this guy, and she's gonna continue to harass Sheree until she drags her down, because she has that type of a spirit on her. That's what I think. But he just called himself a lifetime of misery, if you ask me. with
He
this
don't
girl.
want her to go away though. And that's
He
where
does.
I challenge y'all to think outside the box. You're not dealing from my perspective with the normal man that's looking for a traditional family. He don't want her to go away.
So he want to hang her. He'll marry someone else and leave this girl hanging on.
Hold
And
on. He
she's
was
there.
married to someone else and left this girl hanging on. It's nothing new. You get what I'm saying?
But the only thing is that Melody put up with it, and Sheree is not going to. That's what I think.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm glad you said that. Thank you. This is where it gets tricky, and this is where it becomes chess and not checkers. Did you also hear in my commentary when I said, don't get it twisted, Martell, Sheree ain't Melody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted, Ariane. Sheree will not play cute and coy. And that's where we as viewers have to buckle in tight, sit back and enjoy the flight.
Mm. So I don't know where to go from here, because I'm thinking she forget that foolishness. I don't even want to be involved. If I was Sheree, I'd be like, hey, but you know what? She's playing her games, because I knew that she was going to come out with something else when she said, "Oh, but not cold," or "Oh, but cold," or something like that. See, that's
cold.
yeah. See, she's mocking coleslaw, because coleslaw was always calling people "oh," and that's when she came out with that "oh, but cold" statement. So
Ariane would have to fall in line. That's when Ariane would have to really play her position as a side chick. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't come out the box swinging on Sheree like you did on Melody. That's where if you're going to be a side chick, now you dealing with a woman that's going to force you back into your jack-in-a-box. You should have never popped your head in the first place. And if the truth be told, Melody let her get away with way too much. Because a lot of women would have been and checked her in a lot of ways. But now she's playing a different game with a different player. Melody had too much to lose. Melody was new to reality television. She didn't know how to navigate the cameras, the audience. She had to play it safe. Sheree doesn't. She's not new to this. She true to this. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. But the only thing that's not making sense is why. And like you said, this girl stayed for years, but she thought she was next in line to get this man. So she did all of that just to find out that she's still not number one. Will she put up with that is what I'm saying. That psychological standpoint, I cannot get. But I mean, I'm pretty sure there's women that would do it. And he keep them both hanging on. He got to have him a primary source and a secondary, I guess. So he keeps her hanging on. And she is the only one that will probably stand for that.
Not only
probably other people too, though, but
has she done it, she will continue to do it as long as he can. See, people don't look for the truth. People look to feel good. People live for feel good moments. What did I say? Most people, when you think about human behavior, the goal is to win. I can win behind the scenes or I can win in the forefront, as long as she feels like she's winning. So we don't know what Martell does or says to Coleslaw behind the scenes to keep her at bay.
That's true.
As long as, see, every woman don't require a king. Some of them you can give them a frog or a pauper. Or, you get what I'm saying? Or prince.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's exactly what she's getting. But he'll be a king to Sheree.
She's never had an example. She's never had an example to start off with. She's never had a blueprint. Martell is her first blueprint. He's laying the foundation.
Wow, it's unexplainable to me, but I'm listening, and I like that you come from that angle of, your psychological, how do people really think and all of that. And that brings me to Letitia.
Okay.
And this foolishness that she keep doing. And Melody keeps saying, look, I'm not the one to bring up this stuff about any of your husband's infidelity or any ex-girlfriends, anything. I don't bring it up. You guys are the one that bring it up. But Melody always get the bad end of the stick, saying, well, she just mad because her marriage went down the drain and we're still, together as a family. And I just don't understand why Letitia keep on doing this. And why is it that I mean, is it just for the show to get, because she can dig on, she can get more views by time, but a lot of times she don't even do it on the show. She keeps putting this stuff in her stories and everything. So I don't know why she hates this girl so much. It's gotta be spiritual because of her anointing, Melody's anointing. And they are just like your previous caller said, it's gotta be jealousy because nothing else explains it. It's crazy.
For we war not
Destiny?
against flesh and blood, but against principalities, lightness versus darkness, right?
Yes.
You said jealousy versus freedom and favor and blessings. So when you think about a Letitia, first of all, I know this sounds very earthy. She's a Libra. They struggle between a balance anyway. They go from extreme to extreme. And oftentimes, you don't know how long they'll sit on one side of the seesaw versus the other, right? Carlos King said a couple of interviews ago, I don't remember, I remember him saying, oh, I got a whole cast of a mix of Scorpios and Libras. And when you mix those dynamics together, boom, it's going to be some drama. Carlos is also a Libra. So when you think about the drama that has gone on for 3 + 4 years, and we're like, damn, when y'all gonna come off a Melody? Carlos is out of balance. As a result, Letitia's out of balance, who's a Libra. Marceau's out of balance. Okay. And then you get out of balance, that becomes the dominant and the majority energy. And sometimes you can sit in toxicity so long that it feels right.
Wow.
The
But let
problem
me
is-
just also say
Go ahead.
this. Go on. I was just going to say, now we still got to look at Destiny, Stormy, and the men, Miss Wanda, Billy Bob, all of these people. That, I mean, it goes deeper than Tisha.
It does.
So you basically saying that Carlos is kind of the centerpiece that causes all of this chaos, maybe because they want to please him.
Say, who in the hell left the gate open?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It don't matter who up in here. Who in the hell left the gate open? You get what I'm saying?
That
always
is so.
goes that. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But people, and then the thing that kind of makes me perplexed is they are all blaming Melody for it. They say she is the bad person. She is the snake. She is the devil in sheep clothes. She is this. She is that. Everything negative. Even Martell said she had a dark heart, but we're not seeing this. But they all jump on the bandwagon and say it.
I think Martell meant she had a strong no that felt like a dark heart. Black women are not allowed to say no very often. I think what he meant is she had a strong no. You know what I mean? And that felt like, it's a dark. You know, when you tell a child no and they slam the door and they act like it's the end of the world. And some will go as far as, I hate you, until you teach them, we don't talk like that in this house. You get what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying. It is so good to have this conversation. And the last thing I want to say is about that interview with Destin. I think you said his name was. Carlos know everything this man said was true. But he was trying to act like he was surprised that it was happening. He's not going to take this man's advice, I don't think, because he still wants to stay in that same cycle of everybody needs to hate Melody. Whether he admitted or not, he's on that bandwagon, I think, allegedly. That's all I have.
Yeah. No, thank you. Such a beautiful conversation, and thank you so much. That was so really nice. And as you leave in between you ladies switching plays, I want to thank you, Yvette Kahn, for the $5 super sticker. And also Jeanette Stewart says, thank you, Queen, for the $25 super chat. Jeanette says, carnal-minded individuals lack understanding the blessings, elevation, and protection of God. Melody isolated herself to seek God for spiritual guidance, strength, protection, and discernment. Amazing overflow of peace, love, and blessings. You know what, Jeanette? You just preached a whole sermon. That was beautiful. Thank you. And without further ado, let's welcome Advocate for Justice to the chat. Mic check 1, 2, 3, making sure you are good to go, Queen.
Yes, I'm here. How you doing, Queen?
All right, I'm good to go.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Before you jump in, Deb, Ln, and Diva, we see you in the back room. Keep hanging out. You'll be up next. What's on your mind tonight, Advocate for Justice?
I would just, I'm a Cancer, and I'm the type of person I think outside the box. Um, they're all, even though they about the show, I watched it from day one, and I can see it's like Tisha, she know Melanie didn't haven't done anything to her. All of them know Melanie haven't done anything. That's just their way of just trying to manipulate the situation and their words. And Martell, he started it. He's mad because she don't want him anymore. And Carlos is the ringleader because he's a Libra. Um, Tisha's a Libra, and also Carlos is a Libra. So they all kind of think she creating evil that just really don't exist. And Melanie does have a spiritual anointing on her, and you know that she knows God. And Melanie, what's going on with her, you could tell it's generational. Melanie comes from blessing, comes from money, comes from a spiritual background, and it's like when you play dirty, you're not gonna win anyway. And it makes me kind of don't want to watch the show. I did the blackout when we did the blackout, but Carlos, to me, this reunion so far is the best one that they had. Really, those other one was ambushes to me, not really reunions. Um, but I don't know what part 2 and part 3 is gonna be. But I don't like the way Kimmy behaved, and I will be side eyeing Kiki too. Um, it's just the whole thing. And then for them, to me, they're just some really dangerous, insensitive people. For Melanie, she has 4 children, and this man rather she stayed with him for however many years. It was her husband. She was cheating. She gave it the benefit of the doubt. She tried and tried, and then she stopped when she just knew it wasn't going to work. But Melanie, I know Melanie has a plan. Melanie probably got like 20, 30, or 100 more things that she's dropping. She just not giving it all to this show. And she also has her own production show. They all lying, all of them. They just lie and lie. And then Tisha, she just her with her marriage. They all just using this gang up against Melanie. Just keep themselves on the show for a check because they're not doing anything else. They're not telling really none of their real business, but we finding out about their business off screen. And with um Aunt Anne and Titanic and all the criminal stuff that they're just doing things to deflect. You know what I mean? And I listen to you all the time, and your perspectives is so on point. I be thinking the same thing that you say. And
It takes a lot of, just stepping back because I have a lot of feelings and emotions about it, just like everybody else. Like we're human. We have like knee-jerk reactions to like, what? What the hell? And all of that. I go through all of that. And then it takes me a couple of days. And sometimes I hate it, right? Because the reunion may have happened 2 days prior. And here I am coming with my commentary 2 to 3 days later. But I really have to think through my emotions and place them aside. So whatever I'm giving, I'm trying to give it from a straightforward perspective.
And you are giving. You're giving.
Go ahead.
You are giving. You're calling it just as it is. And then you do sometimes have to take a couple of days just away from this and just kind of like regroup, because I've just never seen anyone treat anyone like this on national TV, and supposed to be business minded people, and it's just something else. But I love your perspective on different things that you say, and the Cabo 6. I'm so into that. I have to step back for that a little while. But the Cabo, with this Cabo 6, and I love your commentary. I mean, I was thinking exactly the same thing. I watch about different things on different platforms. I like a lot of I pretty much support all the YouTubers that's some of them are in the live now, but I support not all of you guys, but all. I have a big group that I support, and I really like all of your content. And I just feel like Carlos needs to go. I did hear that interview, and that guy did read. He's a millimeter, and he did read Carlos really
He
good. I
did
don't like the
great.
part when he said, "Well, I guess he was just trying to be, just make us see that he was kind of trying to." But I didn't like the part when he said to him, and and then just those mothers need to have some kind of conference or something. He said something to that effect, and he said, and then Vanessa, she shouldn't have just lied on that stage. I think he only did that just to, but I didn't like him doing that because she's the worst. I mean, the other ones are the worst mother. She's the best mother on the show, but he did read Carlos, and I know Carlos understood what he was saying, but he just in denial. He not that dumb, and he really need to watch it because he's over here now. He's trying to start a YouTube channel. Well, he has like you guys, but I noticed he's still not getting the views you guys are getting. Probably won't.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's enough room for everybody, right?
It is, but
And
everybody
I'm
don't like
laughing.
demonic.
I'm laughing because a lot of people got riled up about that Libra comment. Y'all, not all Libras. So let me put a disclaimer out there. Not all Libras are imbalanced or unbalanced. Some tend to be. Listen, I'm married to a Libra. I know Libras. My husband's a Libra. My mom's a Libra. My brothers are Libras. So I deal with y'all on a regular basis. But not all Libras. So let me put that out there. And JRod59 says, can you check with other YouTubers for suggestions on audio connections? Kimpire is one that has seamless. Listen, I have the most expensive microphone, and that's not the one I'm using, but you know what? I'll get around to using it when I'm ready. But you're absolutely right. I have a soundboard. I have all of that good stuff ready to go. And maybe that's something I'll work on tomorrow. So thank you, JRock59. I appreciate the feedback. With that being said, thank you so much, Advocate for Justice. Anything that you would like to leave us with? I really enjoyed the conversation.
I just want to also agree that I some of my best friends are Libras, but I'm not saying in a way where all Libras are like that. But I know these three Libras are like that, and they're wicked and they have a dark spirit. But most of the Libras I know, they know God and they spiritual and they're very, very nice people. So I'm not saying everybody, but these three Libras, they all have something in common because they're on this platform. And but I would just want to say, everybody, and I'm sure we all know, when you play dirty, you don't win. And we know Melanie is the queen of the show, the star of the show. And then no matter what they say, no matter what they say, it's it doesn't matter because Melanie, she don't talk. She don't have to talk to them no more. She just do I mean, she dropped something all the time, and I think she got a whole list more. She gonna drop all year, and I just love us to just continue to support this single woman with 4 children, just trying to make her life and her generational wealth. And I want to wish all of you a happy New Year's, and would like for you guys all on your own spare time to just shout out a prayer to me. I just lost my baby brother on New Year's Eve. So that's why I haven't been I missed the commentary to Melanie. But just say a little prayer for me. I'm the only girl out of 6 boys, and he's the baby brother. And I'm just kind of, if you guys can just do me a prayer to yourself or whatever, and everybody just have a happy, blessed, prosperous New Year. And I love all y'all.
And we love you too. And thank you for being so vulnerable and open. I just placed a prayer request in the chat. It's a very general one. We got you covered, Queen. And God bless you and Happy New Year.
And thank you, Queenie. You keep on queening because your commentary is hot.
Thank you. Well received. God bless you. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Deb Ln, thank you, Queen, for being so patient. Mic check 1, 2, 3. What's on your mind today?
Hi, Queen. Thank you so much for receiving me. I've been following you for a while, and I just love you. I just love you. But anyway, one of the things that I wanted to start off with, I do want to say with about Tisha. Oh, let me go back for a second. The young lady who was just on there that lost her brother, I just wrote you down. I'm going to add you to my prayer list as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Tisha. Now, this is all my opinion, of course. I believe it's obvious that she has mommy and daddy issues.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to let that marriage go because I think she wants to win. She wants to win. Um, she wants to make sure that she's right over everyone else. See, the people are probably saying to her that, that man is doing this, blah, 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 blah. And she wants to prove them wrong. I believe that Marceau admires Mel, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has thrown that up in her face. And which is one of the reasons why that girl has so much hatred for Mel. That's my opinion. Stormy. One of the things I want to say about Stormy is, and this is my opinion, but she has some deep mental issues. I believe she's always struggled with them, and she shouldn't be on the show. I think she needs to stop now, and save herself, her baby, her marriage, and get off this show before it ruins her. I saw the interview that her mom had with Miss Wanda, and I thought it was interesting, but I can see, and this is, just what I pick up, that this young woman has always struggled. That's, that's what I see. Let's see. And Kiki. Now, I like Kiki, bless her heart, but I think Kiki wants to be a part of the light. She wants to be a part of that level. And she's going to, I don't think she'll lie if she can help it, but she's going to do what she can do to be on that same level with them. Okay. And let's see. And what is the last thing that I want to say? Oh,
take your time. You're fine.
Oh, okay. I think the last thing I wanted to say, I agree with you about the Sheree, because Sheree is old school, and Sheree will cut you. And I think I believe that she's not playing. See, Ariana is a baby to her. She's been there, done that, and then some more. And so I just think that Martell needs to watch his butt, because I believe Sherelle would be time enough for him. Okay, and that's pretty much all I had to say, other than I listen to you, and I love how fair you are, and also you're articulate, and I just love to listen to you. And you have inspired me more than you know. I mean, so that's why, and I've been on this thing more than I need to. I've been watching Tag on YouTube for the last few months, and missing on other stuff. But I've been studying you, and I just love you. So anyway, that's all.
Hold on, let me gloat in that for a second. But no, let me at least respond to like one or two of your thoughts.
Okay.
I think this is going to be different. I think we're going to be shocked. Here's the thing. Martell's going to show up so much differently for Sheree.
Sheree. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Ariane don't have a big grown ass son like Cairo.
Right.
Melody don't have a big grown ass son like Cairo. You can get cute if you want and pop up if you want. That boy's about what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Yep.
Listen, have you ever been to an MMA fight, or have you ever seen a boxing fight?
Oh yeah.
Do you know an 18-year-old can whoop down a 40-something-year-old like that?
Yep.
So Martell is going to have to treat this woman right for the next 3 to 4 years if he plans on being with her.
Absolutely.
So we're about to see something. And I think Carlos has a heavy hand in it. You remember he kept saying in his interview with Dustin Ross, I can't wait for the viewers to see the other side of Martell. I can't wait.
Yeah.
If you go back to Sheree's page, y'all, pull it up now. Carlos all up in them comments saying things like, Sheree, I love to see you as a mother. I love to see you. He's never done that to any of the women on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Carlos has an investment in this relationship.
Interesting.
From my perspective,
Perspective. Right.
I
Right.
feel like Carlos has to stay close to Sheree and Martell, because if Sheree gets too much of an influence on Martell will be like, I'm out of here. Because Martell needs a lot of guidance.
Yes.
A
Yes.
lot of guidance. He allows people to take the wheel until he's had enough. And then he acts out like a toddler.
Exactly.
And he don't want to listen no more. And to a lot and to a lot of people, it's like, whoa, where did this come from? I've been calling the shots. I've been the one with the builder's license. That's why Marceau, Maurice, Melody or sometimes have a hard time with him, because they don't understand his knee-jerk reaction. All of a sudden, you don't want to go along with the program. All of a sudden, you get a wild hair, right? So
Right.
I feel like Carlos has a lot riding on this. And it's not because Carlos is saying, oh, I can't wait to bring Sheree on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I think Carlos knows, shit, if Sheree gets too much of an influence, Martell is so reckless, he'll walk the hell out of this contract and not give a damn, because he enjoys what's going on over there on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. How about that? What are your thoughts?
Okay. Okay. I can see that. I can see that.
Martell is not responsible.
No, he's not. Just like a kid, just like a little toddler. Exactly. So what else did you not agree with, or about how about Tisha or Stormy, what I said about that?
Oh, I think so with Stormy. I think Stormy's bitten off more than she can chew.
Yeah.
I think she's bitten off more than she can chew.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes back to money's not enough. Money's not enough. When you talk about love, what Al Green say, love and happiness.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Make you wanna do right. Whatever the
Yep.
love. And then don't. And a lot of people, hey, love and a happiness. But that love is self-love. That's the self-love. I don't care how much money you have, how much house you have, and this is not a direct hit to Stormy. This is a wake-up call to all of us.
Yes.
For 2023. The love starts on the inside. And transforms to the outside. Stormy's chasing love, fulfillment. Everything that money cannot what?
Money can't buy it.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Amen. Okay. Well, that's all I had to say. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share your space. And I will continue to listen to you because I just love you. And I wish you, a most prosperous new year.
Thank you.
Along with the rest of the callers.
Absolutely. And thank you for letting me have a little bit of fun.
Okay, sure.
With you. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And before we go to the next person, Tasha Rains says, Queen Sheba, what do you think Martell will do as far as child custody is concerned if Sheree marries him? Do you think he would drop the custody suit, or do you think he will continue with it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask the next caller. I'm going to let you get warmed up. Diva, what are your thoughts?
Good afternoon. I'm sorry. Good evening, Queen and company. First of all, it's funny that you passed the mic to me on that because I wanted to hit that. I did. First of all, I mean, I just came across your channel today. And actually I heard your last video about your thoughts around Sheree and Martell. And so to answer this question, what will he do as far as child custody is concerned? Leave it alone. It's gone, because Sheree is not about to play stepmommy to 5 children. She's not. They're not coming in the chateau. She's not going to be made responsible. Sheree has halfway raised her own kids, 3 of them. She's not going to take that on. And Martell would need to have a woman who would be willing to come in and play relationship. So, and
Mhm.
here's the other thing, with or without Sheree, that child custody case was going to drop anyway. Number one, because he doesn't have the money to keep it going. But number two, the purpose behind it, it won't be served anymore in terms of his real investment with those children. When men like Martell decide to go at, and I'm gonna just, it's a general statement. Most of the time when men are going after custody in situations like this, it's because they don't want to pay child support. That's usually what it is. And in their minds, if the kid is with me, then I'm not paying child support. And they usually have a new girlfriend, new wife, or their mama that will step in. Some female is going to step in and basically help them raise those kids. So eventually, this whole child custody issue is going to go away with or without Sheree. But with Sheree, for sure, absolutely. Because she's not putting her money towards that foolishness. And she's going to say, let Mel take care of her kids over there. And that other one, let her take care of hers over there.
Man, you hit the nail on the head. I have absolutely nothing to add but a thank you to Diane Johnson for the $10 for the $10 super chat, because listen, you whipped that up and served it just right.
Yeah, Queen, you know that, Queen. I mean, that's just one of those situations where, you know, and speaking of Sheree, to your point about Arion's not going to try Sheree the same way. And the reason why I say that, she's going to do, you know, she's going to do her, you know, bird best. But I love how you said earlier, and I believe this, you know, was you that said it earlier, that Sheree is going to force you back into your place, ma'am. If you're gonna be in this situation, you're gonna be over there and be quiet. But you're going to show some respect, because Sheree does have some things to lose, but she does not have the thing that Mel has, which is class. And that's what divides Mel from this entire cast. People are like, what's so different about her? She has that it factor. She has God's hand on her. Mel, and actually, when I wanted to hop on, I wanted to give a different perspective to you and all of the listeners.
Okay.
Mel is the walking personification of what happens when your gift makes room for you and you take up space.
Can you elaborate? Let me tell you what I mean by that.
Sure.
There's a lot of people in the chat. We have 668. As a matter of fact, if y'all could just take a fraction of a second, and if it's on your heart to hit that like button, please feel free to do so. But if you could elaborate for the chat, when you say your gift will make room for you, as people are shifting into a different mindset for 2023, tell them what that means and how they can leverage that.
So let me tell you what I thought about driving down the street the other day. I don't set New Year's resolutions. I set intention. And usually there's a word that God will put on my mind for a year that kind of helps set my intention. And I was driving down the street and I thought about the number 2023. And I started counting in my head: 2, 0, 2, plus 2, that's 4, plus 3, that's 7. Well, 7 in numerology is the number of completion and perfection. And so for me this year, what I believe God is saying to me is that I am going to perfect things concerning you. I am going to complete things concerning you. And relating that back to anybody who's listening or even admiring or inspired by Mel, is Mel always had the gift, just like we all have gifts. Some of us are exercising them. Some of us are not exercising them. Some of us are exercising them somewhat. Some of us are exercising them fully. But you can have the gift and it will make room, which means that it'll provide opportunities. Where you take up space is when you seize the opportunities and let your gift take the space up. It's almost akin to leading a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So if God gives you the gift, whether it was some other people who came on earlier who were thinking about YouTube channels, whether it was somebody who's listening, who's going to school or wants to go back to school, whether it's, you know, somebody else who's thinking about starting that business, ending that relationship, starting that relationship, valuing themselves more, actually getting this company started, whatever it is that you know, and only you know in your heart what God has put in you, what your gifts are, then your gift is already making room. And that room is activated when you take up space.
Oh, I
That
have to
means you
pause on that.
you can't be afraid to show up. And that's what I'm not a millimeter. I respect Black women who are, or just women period, but because I'm a Black woman, I'm gonna take it there for me, because I don't come from punks. That's why I look at women like Ariana, and I look at women like Tisha and Destiny. The women on this show, aside from Melody, are an embarrassment to estrogen and femininity everywhere. I can tell weak women reared you. And what I mean by weak, I'm not talking about a woman who's able to take all kinds of different things, but there is something about a strong constitution and self-love and self-respect that as a woman, it is a type of fortitude that you either have or you don't, that determines what kind of woman you are. And when I look at Mel, what I love the most is the fact that Mel is showing us, number one, she has so many gifts. And I feel like Martell, which has happened, I think, to some of us. I've been in that situation. Being with the wrong people will make you suppress your gift and dim your light to make them comfortable. And I honestly feel like when Mel decided to go, and when God said go, God said, I'm gonna let you keep playing around with this Negro a little bit longer. But at some point, when I tell you to go, and the reason why Mel went on and trusted what God said is because she knew that in her heart of hearts, Martell was holding her down and holding her back. She knew it. She could never, what she's doing now, she could not do with him. And that's not about him cheating. It's about the fact that even if that man was faithful, she was going to get tired of him, because you lack ambition, you lack focus, you're lazy, you're sorry. That is not my equal. She was going to leave either way.
It was just a matter of time.
It was only a matter of time. And I think that, the fact that he cheated, to be quite honest, just made it easier for her probably to do that, because it's harder when you don't have a person, that's so obviously cheating and being disrespectful. Because let's be honest, he cheated and she still gave him a chance.
Right.
But the disrespect. And there's something, and I think what ended up happening is that the people on that show, Martell, Ariane, all of them, did not realize that when it comes down to God's people, you don't underestimate what God's people are doing when they allow you, or when it looks like they're allowing you to play with them. Just because we don't respond does not mean that the beast is dead. The beast is asleep.
I like that.
I tell people all the time, the beast in me is not dead. She's just asleep.
And sometime I'm figuring out how to get
I
my
know where
lick
you're
back.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may be figuring out how to get my lick back.
Yeah.
Without annihilating you.
And here's the other extension of that, Queen. And this is why I find it to be a win-win. I've matured to the point where I don't seek the get back that way. The revenge, because I'm not a throw a rock and hide your hand kind of girl. You mess over me, I'm a Leo, since we're talking about astrology signs. I'm a Leo. So, we roar loudly, we roar proudly, we're going to tear you up, and I'm not going to go run behind a mountain when I do it. I'm going to tear you up, and I'm going to stand there because I want you to know that came from me. But what I realized, though, is that when you take revenge on people, or take your own level of revenge, and especially when you're God's child, you then have circumvented his ability to really make your enemy your footstool and to lay that table out in front of you the way it could be. And I just realized what helps me, because sometimes I say to myself, God, you don't work fast enough for me. And then he says, okay, well, then let me put it to you this way. What you thinking about doing right now? Can you handle that in your life? Because it's coming back. Can you handle what you about to put in her life and yours?
Well, they eating up what you putting down and what you serving in the chat, honey. The chat is on fire. From Speak It Queen, Preach Baby, Tell That Caller Hello, Amen. People are walking into glory. Girl, you are out here saving lives on YouTube.
Wow.
Look, and if God be for you, who dare be against you? And with that being said, hold on. I want to read this $25 super chat from Jeanette Stewart, who's not only a supporter, but a member of the channel. Let me go back.
Awesome.
I think I highlighted the wrong one. I'm sorry, Jeanette. Jeanette said, Tisha's marriage is her badge of honor. She's a wife, mom, and a business lady. Her mask is winning. Her mask of winning. In Mel's presence, Tisha's darkness takes over. No self-control, no confidence, no common sense.
Well, now, Miss Jeanette, I gotta just push back a little bit on one. I know the essence of what you're saying, and this is where Tisha messed up. As individuals, and I'm not married, so I'm speaking as a single woman, but I definitely understand the ministry of marriage and what God intended. Even with that, you don't make anybody your entire world. That's your first mistake. I don't care if it's your husband, your wife, your kids, your mama, your daddy. You set yourself up with that. And one of the things that Tisha said the other day on the reunion was she'd be devastated because my whole, my husband, my family, it's my whole life. That's where she went wrong. 2, she wears her marriage like a badge of honor because that's all she's got. And here's where I'm going to push back just a little bit. She's a wife and a mom. She pretends to be a business lady on television. She plays dress up for cameras to pretend, just like Martell was pretending to be a businessman and Mel allowed him to cosplay as a businessman because she understood. And I'm gonna tell you something. I bet you many days Mel in her mind said, this dumb MF right here. But if he's going to be on my arm, you're a reflection of me. So I'm going to do what I can to make you look presentable because you got to look like you belong with me. That's why she let him take credit for stuff. That's why she helped push him up. And I think because innately she's a kind and giving and generous person who wants to, that's her love language, is helping people she loves win, or just helping people that she loves anyway. That's what the situation is. But Tisha's problem, Marceau, Maurice, Kimmy, Destiny, Stormy, and whoever else they bring on this show, the problem they all have is that their lives are make-believe for our entertainment. Mel's life is manifestation. You see the fruit on her tree. You see it. You see it. She's not playing businesswoman. She's not playing boss. She's not playing actress. She's not playing mother and what. This is who she is. They're playing roles. And that's why they get mad, because at the end of the day, excellence exposes mediocrity every single time. And because she's excellent, their mediocrity is continually exposed, which is the reason why, watch this, they have to gang up on her. Because as Beyonce said, you got to know you that bitch when you cause this much conversation.
Girl.
Always be gracious. The best revenge is your paper. And with that, Mike is dropped. Thank you for the opportunity. And I look forward to seeing you again on YouTube, and keep up the good work, Queen. I appreciate
Diva, thank you for blessing us. When we go live again, do not hesitate to come up. God bless you, Queen. And thank you for all of the jewels and the wisdom that you were able to bestow upon us tonight.
God bless you too. Take care. Happy New Year.
All right. Thank you, Patty, for the super chat. Thank you, Queen. We appreciate your support to the palace. Welcome, Anonymous. How's it going?
Hello, Miss Queen Shiva. Now, you know, Diva went so well. I got to go behind that. Lord have mercy. I got to give her a tithe. Honey, come here. Come hither.
Was that not phenomenal?
Well, I've heard her on previous other panels. She is a phenomenal woman. I think she might be in the same field.
Okay, that she blessed me tonight. I got a lot of stuff to ponder on. Jeanette Stewart came back with the $5 super chat. Keyword was mask. Her marriage is her her good life, not her ugly past. Ooh.
Yeah, and
on Anonymous, or
I would capitalize on that. Talking about marriage, people, there's two different thoughts of marriage. One, I think Martell and the other men on the Love and Marriage Huntsville have the vision of the submissive role only, where the man is above and the woman is underneath on everything. The other kind of emerging view is what they call the partnership or the collaborative version of marriage, where you do like a traditional partnership where you equally share ideas, equally share views. Each person has a voice, unlike what Maurice was trying to do to Kimmy on that stage, where she only could be friends with people who I say she could be friends with versus. So that's kind of what Melody thought marriage should be. And that's why you could tell between her and Martell and even these other type of couples that it's oil and water. It doesn't mix. So technically they're not equally yoked. But usually what happens is the oil, which is what I call what Martell and the other guys want to do, they try to force the water, which is Melody, to be like them. No, you got to do what I say. And, you know, as you could tell with Melody, she probably from the strength of her mother and her faith, and just she knows who her value is. She knows that's not her path. She respected the marital vows. Martell didn't. He wanted an open marriage. And you were talking about how I call her Cougar Peach Cobbler or Sheree. Is the view? He wants his mother.
Girl. Okay.
That's who he wants. His
That's
mother.
good. Keep going.
He with the peasant, that is Marlene. He wants his mother. It's an Oedipus complex situation. He thought he could get it with Melody, but he didn't realize Melody is not his mother. She was the total package. She was the je ne sais quoi. She was the one that was able to get him out of lower class poverty to upper class millionaire status. But you can't bring an open marriage to this type of woman or man if you meet them. They expect you to be faithful. They expect you to honor the vows that you gave and not be two-faced. But the problem is with Martell and the other men on this show, they are actors. They are narcissists. They know they're insufficient, but they play an acting role. And the women that are amused by them are the pygmies, thots, and peasants.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you be a pygmy and still be married? Because I feel like, okay, let me not tell you what I feel like.
Okay.
Can you be a pygmy as a wife, hoping that your husband would pick you?
A pygmy and hoping that your husband will pick you. Well, the question is, if they do pick you to give you, let's say, the honor of being married,
You're already married. If you're already married, can a woman be already married and demonstrate the characteristics of a pygmy?
Of course. Of course. That's the whole submissive role. That's the whole view of the man being like King Tut, and then you just have concubines and wives. So you're picked. You're one of many. But that's not what Melody wanted. That's not what she was promised by him when she met him. So that's where the part was happening. But I think a lot of that is when I don't know if I've told some people, I think on the Silva's Live and some others, I think the Martell we see now was not like this early on, even though he had some traits. He hid it. And a lot of that, I believe, had to deal with his felony ATM charge that he had. Melody revealed in one of her IG lives in responding to him that she was the one that wrote a letter, or one of the people that wrote a letter to the Alabama governor to get him pardoned for that.
Wow.
And that's the part where I don't think Martell understood how important Melody was to him. And I think that's why she's probably more hurt than anything, because technically she should have kept him staying of probation if she was dealing with all this mess. You know what I mean? But for the business, you know, they were in Holt and Holt. It would look better for their image if she was going to give him. And she gave that to him. She gave that blessing to him. And that's why I just don't know what happened to him after he got it. Maybe the wolf came out and he couldn't hide it anymore. So
I have a question for you, but before I go to that question, I want to thank you Seeking Truth for the Cash App. Wow, y'all are so generous financially. And let me just say, for every gift that you give me, I make sure that I bestow it on someone else by way of gifting someone else or gifting it back to you by way of equipment, cameras. Even if I don't know how to work this stuff yet, I'm still learning.
Oh, you're doing well. You're doing well. Like I said, your first time, you got a chance to meet the Queen, Melody Cherie. So
Yeah.
we're going to support you anyway.
Yeah, thank you. So where do you feel like the cast is headed? Where do you feel like Martell is headed? Where do you feel like Melody is headed?
Well, this is the dichotomy, and this is the chess game that my lovely sorority sister, Melody Cherie, has to play.
Mm-hmm.
Martell, I think, did you see the clip that Owen just put out regarding that Martell still has not gotten his builder's license?
Yep.
And is laughing about it, not thinking he needs to get it at all.
Mm-hmm.
All he's caring about is wanting to care for the kids and not work. So that means Melody Cherie has to do more to provide for her children and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So the dilemma is, let's say he wants Cougar Peach Cobbler. Well, you know, the husbands on Real Housewives of Atlanta don't get paid.
Right.
So how is he going to make money?
Now, you know Martell gonna demand that Sheree give him a little bit of something.
But like I said, she'll kick him out of that chateau quicker than he could say, God said go. I'm just telling you. She kicked the other guy out after he built the house. So I'm like, I don't think she's going to give it to him. But this is the dilemma that Melody has. How do you know who you married? And he's lazy and trifling. But if you don't have him employed, he could be a Tasmanian devil and come after you and your children. So everybody, and this is why I said everybody, people say, should she leave? Should she go? I think she's been staying because it's helping save her life.
Okay.
Keeping Martell employed. She's keeping him employed for a reason, because she has babies. She has her kids. And as has been stated, she said in the IG live, I don't know if you asked or somebody else asked, the custody case is still pending.
I think somebody else asked. I think it was the caller before me. I think that was Ebony. No, that was Chit Chat for Cutie, right?
Chit Chat with QT.
Yeah.
Asked, is it pending? Now, this is the thing, and I did this on the Silva's Live in showing what narcissists will do with divorce and custody cases. Just like you said with Cherie or Cougar Peach Cobbler in terms of his interest with her.
Now, why y'all call her that?
Because she's older. She's like his mama.
But she's beautiful. No, she ain't. She don't look nothing
but
like.
a cougar doesn't mean that you ain't fine now. She's a cougar.
She don't look nothing like his mama now.
I didn't say she looked like his mama. I'm just saying she is of the similar age bracket.
She bad.
That's all. She
bad.
has the kids. Oh. Yeah, she has the kids. She has the body. Trust me. There's some fine, sexy mamas. I'm not saying that, but she is similar of the his son is near his age. Okay, I'm just saying.
His son.
Is it her son? He's like in his 20s, 30s, or 40s.
Martell is a 40-something-year-old man.
Well, he acts like he's 15. Okay, so let's just say what we got.
I don't want to punish her because that lady is bad. Like
Look, yeah. You think cougar means bad. I think cougar can mean fine. There's a lot of fine cougars, but she's older. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I think you got offended by the cobbler. You got offended by the cobbler. You just wanted her to freak. Look, sometimes cobblers can be good.
I wanted you to give her old and cold.
No, look, that pink outfit she had on was fine. It was to die for.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Look, they both look at this. The peasant and Sheree are both from Ohio. So Sheree's from Cleveland, Ohio, and the peasant's from Dayton, Ohio. So he's getting his triangulation that way. But it's just, I think with her, this is what I mean by it's the chess game. Because they say if someone loses everything, they're going to continue to use the court systems to get you, to control you. This is his way of controlling. I don't know if Melody has her new man that's in the Atlanta area, so he's trying to get there because Carlos is helping him.
I
I
hope
don't
he's
know.
not in Atlanta. I
I
hope
hope not
Melody's
either.
man is not in Atlanta for a number
I
of
hope.
reasons.
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't
we
want
don't know
to.
yet. I know. Look. I agree with you. I agree with you because
Okay.
you know Martell has been in Atlanta a lot. Just
Okay.
saying.
I hope he's not in Atlanta. That's just my. I hope he's in LA because you remember she was real stuck on going to LA for a second.
But
You
she said
remember?
she didn't want to deal with somebody in the entertainment industry. That's the thing. So I don't know. I think it's a mystery. I think it's somebody that's in her business pedigree. One of her friends, her rich friends, probably hooked her up.
I
That's
hope
just
she
my
doesn't
hunch.
show him. This is what I hope.
Oh, I know she can't show him. That's
Well,
the
I
thing.
hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope on my one of my on my commentary today, I said, so based on what I perceive Martell to be, if she
Yes.
make a move, he's gonna make a move.
Yes.
Okay. So she made a move. She showed an arm. He showed a birthday party. He showed a New Year's party. Okay. I need her to hold back.
I agree.
I need her to let Real Housewives of Atlanta air. I need her to sit through all of those hard moments where it seems like he's flexing. I need her to let them get through the reunion, get all of that over with, and be like, bam.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, as I showed you the analysis, anything that she does, he's going to compete.
He will, but
yeah.
it will not have as much as an impact while Real Housewives of Atlanta is airing.
Okay. I don't know.
What I'm saying?
I don't know, but I know they're not paying. I'm just saying, Cherie didn't pay her She by Sheen stuff. So maybe Carlos is giving them a little buck underneath. I'm just saying, I don't know.
Somebody said they feel like her man is Hill Harper. I hope not.
I don't think so. I think he's taller. From what she dates, I seriously doubt it's that. And she said she wasn't dating anybody in the entertainment industry. And plus, I don't think, this is my hunch, narcissists are actors in the entertainment industry. They'll be narcissists.
Well, let me ask Dee Dee. Dee Dee, what do you think? You've been sitting here patiently, Dee Dee Star 73.
What's up, Dee Dee?
Hey, Anonymous. Hey, Queen Sheba. First of all, she's already answered that question.
You there?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. She's already answered that question. She said she has never dated Hill Harper. She answered that a long time ago, but people keep putting that on her. I don't know why. I mean, he's a nice guy, but that's not Melanie type. So, it's whatever. Yes. So I think it's someone that's a real businessman who she's going to be able to make business moves with. She said they're not in the entertainment business. She said that today too.
Okay.
So, we kind of got a clue. And when we see the way she moves, like Anonymous was saying, she moves a certain kind of way. So it's a certain type of man that she would deal with. And she thought Martell was that, but he wasn't. So now she's going to get a real businessman who's already has his business in place, that she don't have to help build a business. He's already has a business. I think that's what she is.
Like who? Who do you, if you had to give us a description or an example, I know you can't hit it spot on, but if you could say, I could see Melody dating this type of guy. Let me give y'all an example, and y'all may jump off live and get mad at me. Don't laugh. Y'all about to lose your minds. You know what? If he was a little bit sharper, this is about to be crazy. If he was a little bit sharper, a little bit more cleaned up, I could see. I would love to see Melody date Waka Flocka.
Queen, you're gonna lose your members on this thing right here, bro.
No.
Y'all, don't drop subscriptions, y'all. Waka Flocka. Baby, no.
Okay, if you want an example, he would be probably a step or two below someone like a Magic Johnson, a businessman, somebody that's in real estate.
I wouldn't say Magic.
I mean, I'm not saying personality. I'm just saying as a businessman that's about his business, and really got it together. I think this time around, she's gonna she waited till she found the right one, kind of like how Sierra waited on Russell.
Yes. Friends, the friends had them meet. That's the reason why I say it's somebody, probably a business tycoon or somebody that has money, that at least is an empath. I don't think he's a narcissist. I think he'll be an empath.
Yeah, I'm not saying Magic, like, don't think about Magic as Magic we see. I'm talking about, as far as I'm saying, the people in the chat, I'm talking about as far as his business dealings and him having his own, and what he's done with his life since he got out of the NBA. I'm not
Well,
talking
we
about
know
him per
Magic. That's
se.
the reason why we were scared about
I
that one. We're
know,
like,
I
I
know.
don't
I
know, man.
couldn't
That
think
sounds
of,
like
well, I
hotel.
was trying to think of some, no, not in that way. No, not in that way.
He needs
I'm
to
just
be
saying as far
strong.
as being business-like, because
He
she
needs to
needs
have
somebody.
muscles.
I'm sorry,
Huh?
He needs to have muscles. He needs to be
Oh,
able
I
to.
think,
I
look,
think that's,
there
oh,
are
that
business
definitely.
tycoons that have muscles, Queen Sheba. Trust
Oh,
me.
We don't even
definitely,
know if he's a
definitely.
business tycoon, though. Right,
I
right.
look, I'm telling you,
I believe
because if
so.
Melody is about to get the Job afterglow moment, they got to be able to handle that. She's going to get blessed 7 to 10 times like Job did. So
And
that's
then
why I said it's somebody who has to be able to handle that.
And then you think about how she moves. She moves in silence, but she doesn't need a man that's going to pick her apart about, well, why did you do that? What made you think of that? Well, I don't think that's going to work. She don't need that type of man. She need a man that understands, when I put a business out there, it's going to succeed, and he's going to be supporting her all the way. So it has to be someone on that level.
And
The
I'll tell
only
you this.
person that
I
I
was
can
going to
think
tell you this.
of coming out of Atlanta is Jermaine Dupri, and I hope it ain't him.
I
Oh,
don't
no, no,
think
no,
it's,
no, no,
oh,
no, no,
no,
no, no, no. He
nobody like
messed up with
that.
Janet. He messed
Yeah,
up with
nobody
Janet.
like
No, that
that.
ain't it.
I
No, but the
actually
reason why
think
I was
it's an
thinking
unknown.
is I was going to tell you guys this. Because we're dealing with a person like Martell who has exhibits the traits of the 10 traits of a malignant narcissist and a narcissistic sociopath. I think the man that she has is going to be willing to keep himself hidden.
And that's what I'm saying. And most real businessmen, they don't have to show themselves like out in the public like that. They do business. They're about business. They don't have to have the fame. They can stand behind her and let her be her and understand it. They're not jealous of it because they applaud it in the background. Whereas Martell couldn't take that. He wanted her to do all the work, but he was upset that she didn't say, and also my husband Martell, well, you didn't deserve that, so why are you upset? I think she needs a man that's going to be strong for her.
I agree. I think we're going to all be shocked because I think we all have a visual of who we think it is, what he fits. But you know how they say, you just never know. The second go around in life, it's something completely opposite. So we've yet to see. But what are your thoughts on Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion? Dee Dee, what, like, a different perspective you have about everything? Tell us what your thoughts are.
Okay, first of all, I want to tell you that you are so beautiful. When you came on today talking to Melanie, I was like, "What is that? That's the voice." I heard your voice first, and I was like, "That's got to be her," even though you didn't say your name. So I was happy to see you in person. But we talk, Anonymous. No, we talk about this a lot. When it comes to this show, it's really it's similar to what Anonymous was saying, how it's really helping a lot of people, to identify those traits that she speak of. And one thing that I noticed about the show, and it's kind of like what Diva was saying, it was like everything they're saying, I'm like, oh man, okay, they already said their point. So I'm trying to think. But I was thinking about what you were saying when you talked to Melanie today. What is it that you do? Because it was something you said that you do, and that's what made me think of this.
I'm a product manager. I design and develop products. My goal is to think for a living.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because we had this discussion. Anonymous know what I'm talking about. But I brought up to a panel the other day about the reason why it's sad for Tisha is she doesn't capitalize on opportunities. When she kept saying that Mel is trying to ruin her marriage, she could have easily made that into a shirt and capitalized on that. She kept saying it anyway. We kept hearing it. You know what I'm saying? That could have been her product for her to put out, just like how Melanie take advantage of every opportunity. And it's really sad to see her really self-destruct in front of our eyes, because when you think back on season 2, I was there when she did that little event where she was doing public speaking. And at that point, I really thought, wow, she really came from nothing and she's about to explode. I wouldn't have imagined these seasons later we would get what we got on this reunion stage and her and these puppets. I mean, I just can't even, I don't understand it. I just don't understand it, but it does show how envy and jealousy can be so deep ingrained in you that you miss your own purpose and your own individuality. She doesn't even see it. And you asked the question about, can you be a pick-me as a wife? Definitely, because the way Marceau treats Kimmy and Mel, he's never treated her like that. He's very loving toward Kimmy. He cooked for Kimmy. When did he cook for her on the show?
When he cooked that raw bacon.
Well, yeah, but they were at a retreat, so he was
You
trying to
remember?
impress.
You remember that?
Yeah, he was trying to impress Dr. Francis, probably,
That's
not
true.
her.
No, he was poisoning Dr. Francis
Well, yeah,
Didi.
that too. Because he don't want to go back to him. You're right, Anonymous. But I mean, he never really did anything special for her. But you know, as soon as Kimmy talked about her diagnosis, everything, he cried for her. He felt for her. You could see that genuine love he has for Kimmy.
But did you hear what he said?
What's that?
He said Tisha downplayed it to me.
Yes, and he was upset about that. He was upset about that.
He said Tisha made it seem like it wasn't that serious.
And that's because she knows how he feels about her. That's what I'm saying. As his wife, she's looking at, but he never looked at me like that. He's never cried over me. He's never talked to me in that way. You know, it's she knows the way he is with her compared to other women. She see it.
I think, Tisha, to answer your question, you were like, well, what are your thoughts about this? And then you just shared. And how come that dynamic exists? I think Tisha has yet to elevate from being a student to a professor of being a marvelous wife. You know, profess, when you think about profess, it means to implement, to be hands-on, to take it, to mold it, to become a master of that thing that you've learned. I feel like Tisha, and I jokingly said it many, many videos ago, and I said, you have become a professional student. You handle students differently than you handle your staff and your counterparts. You bark instructions as students. And Tisha's yet to transition from being a student. When Marceau met her, she was a student. Does that make sense? Still, as a wife, she's still a student. She's still in school. She finished school. She went and got her this license, that license. She's yet to transition from a learning phase to an expert phase. So it's no wonder that he handles her as if he needs to guide her on how to be a wife, on how to, Tisha, don't lean back like that. You remember on the couch on a reunion. And it's up to her to challenge herself to move from that learning phase to, I got this.
But she's one of those kind of people. She is where she came from. You have some people who come out of it and truly leave it behind. Deep down inside, she is still Bessemer, Alabama. And not no disrespect to them. I'm just saying from her upbringing, whatever her upbringing was, that's who she is to the core. She really don't want to get away from that because she shrinks back to that on a regular basis. No matter what, Marceau did try to pump her up and say she was a boss. He knows she's not a boss, but he was trying to say that. He even let her have that I don't know what kind of meeting they were supposed to be having, her and Martell, but he allowed her to do that just for her sake. And she enjoys saying, I'm a boss, even though she's at home on her couch.
Well, she
Doesn't
can't be
make
a
sense.
boss of something that another woman started, which is the reason why he said on the reunion, I wish Tisha would come into things by her own right. When your
But do
husband
you
do
And
that,
that's what I was just saying about taking opportunities. Like
mhm.
but do you
on this
think he
show.
can? I was just curious. With him doing the narcissistic abuse cycle on her effectively, do
I,
you honestly think he
yeah,
wants to
she
do that?
can. You see how quick she told him, don't play with me. Don't call me a jealous woman. Just like she can switch that toggle back and forth when it's time to get ratchet and when it's time to show up in pink leather pants and fight. Absolutely, she can.
But that's who
Oh,
she is, and that's what she wants. She really, she she wants to be what the old saying back in my day, Bougetto. She want to have the look and be able to floss, but she doesn't
Mm.
want to actually be the person to have what she want. You know what I'm saying? It's like she relied on Marceau, and he look what he did to the business. She didn't even know.
Well, Tisha benefits from where she is. See, you can't play with the likes of a Melody and a Sheree because so when you think about school, remember I said she's stuck in being a professional student. And when you think about school and every level that you elevated to, you have to drop down to the bottom. When you entered elementary school, you were a kindergartner. But then when you went to middle school, you went from being a fifth grader in elementary to a sixth grader. You went back to the bottom, right? And then when you go to high, you go sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade. So you've mastered that level. When you go to high school, you go back to the bottom as a freshman. Okay. And then you graduate as a what? Senior. That's as high as you can go. Then when you start college all over again, you go back to the bottom as a freshman, fresh fish on campus. And Tisha has mastered a level that she's become comfortable with, and it benefits her because in Bessemer, I'm the senior on campus. Okay.
Yes.
I'm the
Yeah.
senior on campus. I'm the shiznick. I'm the shit. I got the BMW. I got the house. I got the husband. Everybody is aspiring to attain the level that I'm on. However, if I decide that I want to play with the likes and enter in the valley of a Melody Holt, I got to drop back to the bottom of being a freshman and I got to start all over. And Tisha has proven that she's not okay with new beginnings. Hence the reason why you hear Melody say she's stuck in a what? Past.
Yes.
You're stuck in the past. The learning phase, you refuse to rise to the top. So
yeah.
that's just my complicated and complex thoughts about it all. What are
No,
your
and I agree. I totally agree because when when Melanie took her under her wing, she was showing her the blueprint. She was introducing her to the circle of people she needed to get to know. So once she got these 2 master degrees that she always talk about, Melanie was put her well, Mel, I like to say Mel because I always forget it's Melody, but Melody put her in the circle where she could get the advancement that she was seemingly wanting. That's why she went back to school. That's what she talked about when she did her speaking engagement, is that she was, she seemingly was going to elevate. That only lasted for a short period of time. She couldn't keep up that image because that's not who she really is.
right?
And so now we see her today go back to what she knows, and she will not let it go. And I noticed that Tisha, Stormy, Destiny, to me, when I look at them, they all have the same upbringing. That's why they're so close. They identify with one another. The only difference with Stormy is was able to get a business and she was able to elevate in that way. But the core of her personality is just like Tisha, just like Destiny, and it's really sad to see. It's really sad to see because they take all of their energy and look at Mel like she's the troubled one, but it's actually the 3 of them. That's my thoughts.
And with that
Well,
being
she left the
said,
plantation in essence. They didn't want her to leave. That's the reason why they're angry at her.
Right.
I think the plantation, if I had to akin that to like something symbolic for those in the chat, when you free yourself and you say, I want to be healthy, I don't want to live like this anymore, whether that's by way of toxic friendships, toxic marriages, just, you know what, there has to be something better than me pretending to be okay when I'm not. Go ahead, Anonymous.
I mean, I think you summed it up, Queen Sheba, about that. It's just one of your, I think you just had your synopsis that you did this morning that talked about, or somebody talked about it. I think it might have been Mind of Lila too, where she left. She chose her freedom. Like Harriet Tubman, she chose to be free and not just stay with what was comfortable. And there is this view, especially, I wouldn't say in the South, but in the Black culture, that you just accept your man or partner cheating. You don't expect more. And I think Melody realized if she kept doing that with Martell, it would be Sodom and Gomorrah and she would be completely destroyed or destroy him.
Or she had so a while back, it was I can't remember who was up, but it could have been Marita, and she got her mic went out. But many years ago, I was dating a guy, and the profession that I was in, I started my own business and did very good. And I was working with an older lady. One of the best things that you can have on your side is wisdom, if you choose to take it.
Yes.
And that lady watched me for months as I worked with her. She never said a word. And I remember I came in one day and she softly grabbed my wrist. And she says, I don't know what he's doing to you, but the light in your eye has become dim.
Yes.
And once you lose it, you'll never be able to get it back. Don't let him take your light. That's all she said. She never said, break up with him. He not a good man, blah, blah. That's all she said. And that was so much wisdom for me at that age. And in that moment, I knew what I had to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew what I had to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I think Melody got there somehow, some way.
The show got her there.
Yep.
Yes.
The
And when
show
she saw the
got her there.
support that she had of women watching her and understanding her struggle, because one thing about all of the husbands like to isolate. They isolate their women from having, like Anonymous was saying earlier about how Maurice feels about Kimmy's friendships. They all isolate them so they don't really have true close friends, except people who are just like in the same situation. And so for her, she realized that it's a whole world out here. I love him, but these women see me. And I think that gave her the strength to leave, because what she said today on the live was she was leaving before she knew about a baby. She was already to go.
Well, it was her intuition. When he left during the pandemic, the Lord was telling her there's something wicked that's going to happen. That's why she had to leave.
And with that being said, ladies, you two have been wonderful. I got 9 minutes left.
I know we're going to leave. We're sorry, people.
Thank you. We're sorry. Hey,
great.
This is Anonymous and I. We have this this thing. We do it a lot. So, hey, I appreciate you allowing me to come up and everything.
Me
and it's
too.
great. And you always have good content. So I'll be seeing you again soon.
Absolutely.
And keep it up.
Thank
Queen.
you.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right. I think we got let's see, we got Stephanie and Everme. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome. Thank you both for being so patient. Sometimes these conversations are just so organic. I like them to just play out. And I promise to do the same with both of you. Before I get started to hear what your thoughts are, I just want to read this super chat again. Jeanette Stewart, you are phenomenal. I see you showing up day after day, time after time, supporting all channels with your financial blessings. Thank you, Queen. I'm going to give me some Popeyes tomorrow with this one. And you said she manifested a protector, provider, and professor of his love. Could he be from another country with these core values? Meaning Melody's new man. What do you think, Stephanie?
I still believe it's Hill Harper.
You
That's yes, I believe so. Just from their conversations, and he seems to be her type. I mean, if she had a choice, athletic and intelligent, they're able to communicate. Because from what I understood, Martell he was a poet at one time, or liked to write also. So that's who I just see. I don't know. Or if she has anybody, she might just be saying this. So Martell, leave her alone. But I had a comment, and I guess, well, not I guess. It's more or less like about Letitia. The first 2 years, especially the second year, I really liked Letitia, and I could see her coming around to the place where she was becoming more independent. And I just really, this is just Stephanie thinking, what's wrong with Melody saying, if I hurt you, I'm sorry? What's wrong with a woman telling another woman that? And move on. It's not going to hurt her. She's still going to be successful. And just rather than letting all this keep festering, I just think if she just said, you know what, if I hurt you, I'm sorry. And
I thought Melody did say thank you. I mean, not thank you. I thought there was an apology. Am I wrong?
I've never seen her apologize.
No, she apologized twice.
When did she?
The first time she apologized is when they had that woman's retreat.
At the campfire.
At the campfire.
Right.
That was the first time she apologized. The second time she apologized was the time that they met. And then remember when Melanie had the Taco Tuesday and invited Destiny, Tiffany. So she was invited to her home after the second time she apologized as well.
Okay.
So she did apologize twice. I mean, and that's more than she should have.
I don't agree with that, because she did attack their marriage without real proof.
Well, no.
What's wrong with just saying, you know what? I think she needs to be more straightforward and say, hey, I did say those things. I was hurt at the time. I'm sorry.
Okay, can you give us an example just so that we're sure we're following?
The second season, when she was really talking about Martell cheating, it was Melody made several accusations based upon what Martell had told her, and she continued the storyline that Marceau was cheating. She never gave the girl any evidence. You can't tell me my husband's cheating and don't give me evidence. And when you don't have any evidence, just say, oh, you know, I'm sorry. That's just me thinking that, because I just saw so much growth in Letitia. She was doing really well, and she was probably going to eventually leave Marceau, but her growth got stunted. She got hurt by Melody. Not that Melody is her keeper, but I was just thinking that. So if you guys say she did, I'm done with it. Okay.
Well, dude, let me ask you this, just so that it can be because I think you bring up a good point, but you know, based on a different perspective, right? Just like, what if Letitia was just hurt by something Melody said? Would it be too much to ask for Melody to say, you know what, this is what you're saying. I hear you saying this.
Right.
I apologize. But let me ask you this. On the flip side of that coin, I don't know if you remember this conversation. They were seated out at a coffee cafe. Yep. They were talking, and Letitia said, your husband bought another woman, and just started laying it out there on national before Melody said anything about Marcel. Letitia said he bought her a matching BMW. That's why your husband is cheating on you. And the girl got a car, to which Melody responded, You may want to pull up at 3 a.m. and see where your husband is.
Right.
Do
But it
you?
was, to me, it was always at Melody carrying the bone.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Maybe I need to go back and watch that, but I was like, whoa, Melody just seemed at the time to me to be really upset with her, and she just continuously kept bringing these stories up. And I thought Letitia was being nice to her. Maybe I'm
Okay.
wrong. What difference
your
does it make?
thoughts?
Melody is very successful.
Mm-hmm.
If you hurt someone, what's wrong with just, hey, you know what? You want an apology? I'm going to say I apologize. I did say some things that weren't true, but whatever. Move on. So she can be. I don't know. I don't know how the show will continue without them making up.
What are your thoughts? Is it Stephanie? Stephanie, you're at the top, right? I don't know why y'all's names aren't showing. Or is it Everme?
It's Everme.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Everme. What are your thoughts based on what Stephanie just shared?
I don't think that there's an issue at all with the person saying, I'm sorry. Like I said, that she did say, in my opinion, that she was sorry several times. But then in the background, Letitia and others continue to talk about her, could talk about her marriage. So I don't feel like she owes them anything else. And like she always says, she is a responder. And from what the editors let us see, we see that they are always talking about her and she actually responds. She never, that I've seen, and I've watched it from season 1, the first day, I've never seen her come out with it first. She always responds to what someone has either asked of her, or did she say something, or what did she think of something. It was never her ever saying something outright as, this is what your husband did, I saw this, or I heard this. I've never seen it.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
That's
for me, my question was going, well, my response was going to be for Melody and Martell.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Martell, yes, he's upset that he got caught. Let's get that straight. Not that he was cheating. He just got upset because he got caught. But I feel like he was so insulted, so enraged, so appalled that she actually left. She actually left, didn't come back. And he thought that maybe she would come back because she dealt with it by her own admission for 5 years. So he felt like, okay, she's gone, but she'll be back. She's going to come back. And when she did not come back and he saw that she was prospering, that's when Letitia and Marceau and everyone else was like, in my opinion, I think that they were envious. I'm never going to say jealous because I feel like it's envy that she was able to do that, stand on her feet, keep pushing, keep doing what she intended on doing with or without him. And I feel like they were envious that they were in the marriages that she's in. And she can't have a loud voice like Melanie, meaning how she's moving. And I feel like that's where all of this has come from, because everybody cannot hate one person. Everybody cannot dislike one person for one reason or another. It just doesn't bode well. So everybody is envious that she keeps it moving and she pays them dust. That's the way that I'm looking at it.
I think Marceau said it best. He said it's because you're winning.
Yes.
It's because you are winning.
Yes.
He said it in that office.
Yes.
Nobody expects a woman, let alone a single mother with 4 children, to walk away and win. And especially when a man refuses to give you the furniture. Not only that, you know what? Go ahead and go.
Right.
Nothing out of this house. You ain't taking no furs out of here. You're not getting any beds for the children. You'll be back.
Yep, that's what it is. You'll be back. And the most insulting thing too is that all of the cast of Black women, none of them are supporting her. That is the most hurtful thing to me. that I'm seeing on this whole cast, there's no way that they can excuse or explain away their actions toward one Black woman. You mean not one of them has any empathy or any support for her? That's where I'm like, I don't get it.
They can't. When you think about the Southern mentality, the Southern mentality, the biggest achievement and accomplish for a Black woman is to get a man and keep one.
Okay.
You become the laughing stock of the show. When your man misbehaves, whether it's your fault or not, women have the audacity to pick up the phone and say, that's why your man was over here last night. His behavior becomes your problem as if you're his mother. And you didn't raise him right. And you just the wife, or you just whoever, the woman that loves him. Just the woman that's trying to keep a nice warm home. And all of a sudden, his behavior becomes your problem. Your downfall. Your wrongdoing.
I had one other question for you. I had one other question for you, Queen. What is your opinion on all the people out in YouTube land? Everybody doesn't have to be a millimeter or whatever you want to call it, but what is your opinion on the people that really feel like when Melanie makes a rebuttal on something that someone has said about her or to her or directly to her? Like, for instance, when she was on the show, the first reunion, and they said she had a stank attitude. After everything that's been said and done to her that we've seen, that the producers have let us see, for her to come out there happy, jovial, and go lucky. Her mom was talked about. Her children were talked about. She was talked about. She was degraded. So and I've been on a lot of channels as well, visiting as well. And it's like she had a stank attitude. She could have just did this. She could have just did that. What is your opinion on those types of comments and ideas?
Okay. I would love to answer that, but before I do, thank you, Graceful Moments. Thank you for your patience, and for your $9.99 super chat. Yes, lovely nuggets were being left tonight. I agree. I learn a lot from you all in the comments, but this is my first time really engaging with you all on a live, and I wanted it to be a viewer takeover because I'm open to learn, and you ladies have blessed me so much, so I have to agree with you. Graceful Moments. Thank you so much, Queen. To answer your question, what are my thoughts? I think it's the same thing you experience in corporate America. I think it's a story that many African American women can tell. Your job is to take it. And like that song says, you just keep on using me until you use me up. In HR and in corporate America, you say something, it's not that big of a deal. You're overreacting. Maybe you took it wrong. Well, you need to adjust your attitude. Melody is not experiencing anything none of us have not experienced on a different level. I think the catalyst and the audacity is we see it coming from your own people. And I think that's the thing that has captivated this audience regarding Love and Marriage Huntsville, because we like, now I'll be damned. Now, this is what we see normally on the other side, but never in my life would I thought I would have to watch a woman fight on this side and fight people that should have grace and understanding and a tenderness, right, for what she's going through. So I think it's no different than a lot of women could get up here and say, I've experienced it, just in a different realm, from a different source. But it's the same story most of us could tell, right? It's just that the players are different. And I think it's pathetic that she has to go through that. Hopefully that helped a little bit.
I concur. And I thank you so much for having me up.
Absolutely.
And I love your content. Thank you.
No, thank you. Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see. Who is that talking? Is that Everme and Stephanie?
Yes,
Okay.
that was ever me.
Okay. Thank you, ladies, so much. Have a good one.
You're quite welcome.
All right. So now we're going to bring up, let's see. Hold on. I got two more. I got Brown Skin Girl coming up. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got brown skin girl. And then I got Nikki. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3, ladies. You may be on mute, both of you.
Hello,
Brown skin girl, is that you?
this is Nikki.
That's Nikki. Nikki, I can hear you. You're coming through good. Brown skin girl, you want to do a mic check real quick? All right, Nikki, we can get started. We can wait on brown
Hi,
skin
thank
girl.
you. Thank you, Queen Sheba, and I just want to commend you for your commentary, and I really enjoy your mic drop at the end of your commentary. Regarding Melody, I believe that the majority of the cast, they know that Melody is blessed, they know that she is anointed, they know that she has favor, and they know that she is gifted. And because of that, they expect her, and even without that, they still they expect her to just lay down and play dead when they do something to offend her. They expect her to just take it whenever they insult her mother, comment on her children, throw her marriage in her face. In the very first season, Tisha was happy to tell Melody on camera, I hear your husband bought the other woman a BMW. So if Tisha can tell Melody, your husband bought another woman a BMW, why can't Melody also tell her, well, your husband bought another woman a car also, bought another woman a Mercedes? At their 10-year anniversary, Tisha brought up infidelity. Is that something you think is appropriate to bring up on someone's 10-year anniversary, given their history, and even if you did not know their history? I don't know. As far as Tisha getting any evidence or any proof of infidelity from Melody, Tisha's had warnings from her mother. She has had text messages from Martell. She has had confirmation from Martell's mistress that all the men went on Atlanta trips and had girlfriends there.
Hey,
She was seeing a naked photo on her phone.
1 second, sweetie. They're asking in the chat. They say they can hear you, but not as strongly. And they're asking if you can speak up just a little bit.
Okay. Is this better?
Oh, that's much better.
Okay. As far as Tisha wanting evidence of Marceau's cheating, Tisha has gotten warnings from her mom. She's gotten text messages from Martell. She's gotten confirmation from Martell's mistress that all the men would have girlfriends on their Atlanta trips. They all had linebackers. She's seen a naked photo of a woman in Marceau's phone. How much proof does she really need? How much more proof does she really need? Is she really not going to believe that something's happening unless she's actually in the room watching? Is that what it is? I believe Tisha has invested.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you? You were on a roll.
Yeah, we lost her sound.
Yeah, I think so. You were good. You were doing great. Brown skin girl, what are your thoughts until we can get, I think that's Nikki, until we can get Nikki back? What are your thoughts, brown skin girl? I'm going to move you up. And if brown skin girl isn't ready, uppity, I will let you take over, queen.
Yeah, I actually think brown skin, you might want to exit and re-enter the backstage just to see if that works.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So my thoughts were, I was a little further up in the show, honestly. I think the conversation moved on from where I entered, but I entered
That's okay.
when the woman said something about how Mel has presented no proof and, you know, that she ought to apologize and things like this. And in the chat, we were thinking maybe the lady needed to start it back from season 1. Maybe there were episodes that she missed. But when I thought about that, I was like, you know, Carlos King has successfully thwarted any mentioning of names like Alonda, any mentioning of certain things, even the Galentine's Day thing when Mel went through her phone, the editing would suggest that Mel just looked at her phone and nothing happened, but it was cut out. So what I would say to the previous caller is the audience, we are the ones who don't have proof, but Mel has plenty of proof. And who has even more proof than Mel does is Martell. And it's interesting to me that people keep having this pushback from Mel, like, oh, you know, why would anyone leave a marriage after, you know, however many, almost 2 decades without any solid proof. And I'm just like, Martella's the one who has the real proof and who brought this up. And he was the first person to bring it up. Oh, you kicking me when I'm down and I could bring girls here right now. He said this on the show. Letitia, where's your smoke for that? Where's your puff, puff pass for that? He said, I can call numbers and I can bring people down here. Y'all had 20 girlfriends. Tisha, where's your smoke? Where's your huffing, I'll puffing, I'll blow your house down for that? It's just for Mel because Mel is the only person in the group who was out of the loop consistently. They all knew Martell was cheating. They were all in on it. So there are certain group secrets among the OG6 that Mel just doesn't have, access to because she's got better character than that. And she is actually who she says she is. And that doesn't really jive well for the group at all. But I'm just like, if Tisha was really wanted to know something, she would be like, Martell, you've got some explaining to do. But then why would Martell explain anything when he texts Tisha the information? And clearly, Carlos had to bleep on some Porky Pig because he tried to get one over on Mel. And she's like, oh, you think you're getting one past me? You were on the phone, Carlos. You were on the phone with me and Alonda as we talked about her coming on the show. And you said, if I'm going to say that, I'm going to need to get paid for it. Melody never offered her any money. And good Lord, there's so many people who love Mel call her Melanie, and it just grinds my gears, y'all. Just say Mel if Melody doesn't come off your tongue well. It just hurts my feelings so much.
Well, it's like I think it's a POC thing. Instead of saying Amber, we say Amber.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All in love.
I think you're right, and I think it's all in love. But our sister Melody, she's like a song. And that's what her name is. And I want that blessing of her name to be on her when she's mentioned. But I get it, and Melanie is a dope name anyhow. But that was all I really wanted to come up and contribute, because the reality is Carlos King, Alonda put a cease and desist on the show. Yeah. Don't say my name. You cannot use my likeness. Mel has gone through her phone. Mel has told Tisha to pull up to black. Mel has told Tisha, you might want to go to YouTube, XYZ. There have been so many receipts out there. There are people who have talked about the body parts of these men intimately. And I'm just like, well, a wife would know that. So why don't we, hey, all of this is proof. But the audience has been thwarted by the editing and by the way that Carlos King is in cahoots with the Scotts. I was commenting on Owen's channel recently, and I was telling them, I don't know what people see in this reunion. This reunion is largely uninteresting, uneventful, and boring besides Mel's look, because he plays softball with the Scotts. He's pussyfooting around the Scotts. And even when he's asking them these questions, he allows them to dodge. Like the friendliest game of dodgeball you've ever seen. And I'm like, that's not good TV. I'm not interested.
I think it's because he's fraternized, which is why they have a rule in corporate America. They don't want your senior directors. They don't want your ELT, your executive leadership teams, to fraternize with their subordinates. And and Carlos has gotten too close for comfort. Now you can't correct them because you've kind of lollygagged with them and had a good old time with them. And the fact that you have to hop on a plane to get everybody straight, Andy Cohen would never. But I'll leave that there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Queen.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Hi, brown skin. I was screaming you guys' name in Mel's chat. Well, not screaming, but I was typing the mess.
Thank you.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you guys.
All right. Brown skin, we skipped you. You want to go before we let Jay Michelle chime in?
Sure. I just wanted to chime in on a few things that was said from, one of the other callers about Mel not apologizing. I actually, did a video on that where time and time again, Mel was always the bigger person and apologized on numerous occasions from season 1 to season 2 into season 3. And so, she's always kind of taken been the bigger person. to do that, and build that bridge between her and Tisha time and time again. And then we see where she's at now, and it's because she's sick of building the bridge by herself. She has, and she said today in her live how, she's done these things to show an effort of camaraderie and support, and it gets clipped out, and she gets the bad edit to make her look like the bad person. And it's unfortunate that that's how they want to portray her. And it's sad because you really see people believe it and say, oh, Mel's negative.
Uh-oh. Did we lose brown skin?
Can you hear me?
Yes, she came back. Okay, perfect.
Sorry. Yeah, they've been giving her bad edits, and it's unfortunate that that's the case, because Mel has a generous heart, and we know her to have a generous heart. She does things for the community, for people all the time. Even when she had that live, and the person was, she was excited to just be on the live with Mel, and then she ended up talking about how her house got caught on fire. Mel instantly sent her a cash app. People in the chat were blessing her, and she was crying. She was like, oh, like, I didn't even come on for this. Like, but Mel has that light, and that's part of the problem with Tisha and them. See, darkness don't like light because it exposes them for their shortcomings. It exposes them for what they lack. So they rather stay in the dark in their corner, because the moment light comes, you start seeing that they're naked. You start seeing that they're not fully developed. And so I love how you said that she is in the mind frame, or she's like a permanent student. She just stays where she's at, and as long as Mel comes around, she's now dumbed down to that entry level class. And that's exactly what it is. She hates that Mel is the epitome of what she can never become in her mind. Not to say she have it in her, but to her, she can't make it. So she just has to hate on Mel because she can't be it. And so it's just, it's really just hate, jealous, in my opinion, jealousy and envy when it comes to her, because and it's not only because of Mel, she just has her own insecurities. You've seen it when it came to Kimmy, and Kimmy defending her, or Kimmy becoming friends with Mel. She just has these insecurities within herself based on, I believe, how she was raised, her mother taking up for her all the time, and then she was kind of thwarted into this other dominating relationship with Marceau. So she's always had a voice for her, but that doesn't mean, because I believe Tisha is very manipulative, and she plays, puppet master behind the scenes too. She uses the guise of her emotion. She does the crying and the whining to get her way. So Tisha's not innocent in none of this. And another thing I wanted to point out, I think someone had mentioned, I believe it was Uppity, she responds a lot of, this isn't her just starting trouble. She's really responding to a lot of things. And honestly, when you think about all the times that they come for her, she doesn't even respond every time. Like, she's human. You can only take but so much, and it shows how weak they are for them to have to gang up together in order to try to take her down. And it kills them because it still doesn't work.
It's what was I going to say? You said, dang, I lost my thought. Keep going. I'm sorry. I lost my thought.
You're fine. No, you're fine. But, it's just their insecurity falls in the fact that she's so strong. They cannot stand. They thought every time something happened, they were waiting, like drooling, seething at the mouth, foaming at the mouth, waiting for her downfall. But then God rose her up another step, and they just couldn't take it. They were like, dang, like again, every time we think something's going to happen to knock her down a notch, to get her off this high horse, which I don't believe she even believes she's on. I think, and she has said it today, and I've always said it as well, I never see Mel as trying to portray herself as perfect. She's just transparent. She opens up, so we're able to relate to her. So that's why more people tend to gravitate towards her, because she's transparent. But like she said, it's people projecting. I think it's because they see her as perfect. So now they're like, "Oh, you think you're perfect? Yeah, no, you think I'm perfect." That's what it is. It's not that I think I'm perfect. You think I'm perfect.
And I think
But
it comes down to knowing how to behave. I was taught to, and I'm just as if I'm Melody. No, I was just taught how to behave. Because I don't know if you remember on Ms. Van's interview that I did on the day before Christmas Eve. And I talked about her being a syndicated radio host for a Christian radio station. And my question to her was, what advice would you offer bloggers on YouTube? And she said, keep it clean, whatever that means. Don't go low. Basically, I can't remember her exact words, but her exact words was, whatever God has for you, it's already done. So you don't have to hit below the belt. You don't have to hit low.
That's true.
And you see that come by way of Melody. And I think that's where that reaction comes from when you think you're all that. No, her mother has instilled a foundation in her to not go low. That doesn't mean it's easy for her to stay there. But her mother, that was the same advice she gave to us as bloggers. She don't know us from Adam. We're not her chosen ones. But that, and I told her, I said, okay, I wrestle with that. Because when I get into my role with some of these people, and I've carried that with me since December 23rd. But go ahead.
Wow, that's beautiful. And it's true. It's like we try with every fiber of our being to not go below. Like Mel said, you go low, I'm going to hell. So, I love that saying, because I was like, yeah, I'm with you on that one. But like she said, the thing is what God has for you is for you. He won't send it to the wrong address. He won't mistake you for somebody else because you look like them, or like they often say about us, we sound alike, So, it's not a thing where God misplaces your blessing. It will always come to you at the time that is designated to come to you. But don't block your blessings by trying to be negative to other people or trying to hurt other people, because you just do yourself a disservice, So that was a blessing when she said that. I did watch the interview. I was there live, and yeah, that was a blessing. That was definitely a gem. And I wanted to also touch on what you said a second ago when you said, it's hard. We see the hate and the things coming at us from other people, but to see it from our own hurts. And that is so true. But it hurts even more when it's people you have tried to constantly uplift, help, and, get out of a rut. When I look at the Scotts, Tisha and Marcel, Mel and Martell literally helped them come out of a rut. When he got fired from the movie theater, they had nothing. They talked about how there was only one vehicle. They had multiple kids, 2 people, 2 adults. They let them borrow their car free of charge. There was so much they've done scope to help them, and for them to turn their back, and every chance they get, they're downing Martell about helping. Not that I think Martell, is a savior or a good person or whatever, but it's just the way their ethic is. They badmouth, and they have no problem hurting the very people that help them, which says a lot about their character.
Yeah. And something I'll leave you to ponder on and just to take with you. I don't know if this has happened for you, but Tisha initially had me in a position that I did not favor Marcel season 1 and 2. She introduced him as a bad husband to me from a viewer perspective. I just wanted to leave you with that.
That's good. Yeah. You know what? You said a lot right there. You said a whole lot.
Well, thank you so much, Queen. I really thank you for coming on as another content creator. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for having me. And I love your content. Keep doing what you're doing. You're growing and expanding, and God is blessing you, and He will continue to.
I received that, and congratulations on your 4,000 subs. I see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I see you. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Yep, you too. All right.
All right.
Next up, I think we have Jay Michelle and Dear Reed Talk. Welcome, ladies. SW, I see you in the back.
Hi. Can you hear me, Queen Sheba?
Yes, I can hear both of you.
Okay.
Jay Michelle, we'll start with you. Tell us what we got a few minutes left. What's on your mind? What do you want to bring to the table from a viewer's perspective?
Well, first, I wanted to say I love seeing you today on Mel's Live, and I did subscribe today. I love your channel. It's amazing. Secondly, I have been Mel. My ex walked out. He cheated for years, and I was like, Mel, I had no idea. But everything she went through, the isolation, only friends or his friend groups, I went through all of that. So that's why she's an inspiration to me. But one of the things I do see observing since season 1 is Mel was in a bondage and unequally yoked with Martell. And Tisha is the same. She's in a bondage and unequally yoked with Marceau. And what they do, the men, so that those women don't recognize that they're above their level of the type of woman they deserve, is they keep them at each other. If Tisha really stopped and really paid attention, he wants to keep her at odds with Mel because Tisha has the same potential. The reason they got had the lawsuit with the contract they got is Tisha got that contract. And Marceau admitted it. He admitted it on one of his Instagram lives that he was not prepared to do what was required. That's how they got into this thing. He was saying how that was his first time dealing with a contract or anything at that level. So his mindset and Martell's mindset is not the same level of the wives that they married. They're just using them as footstools to give them the things that they want in life. Because all of the Scotts said that they did not want to be poor. And so coming on this show, 2 sets of Scotts, they're trying to bring all their family. And then he's trying to bring Tisha's family. All of them want to level up into another level. But what they don't realize is, just like he said, if you don't have the necessary tools like Mel has, if you're not a person that the vision was given to, or that God blessed you with these things, you won't have the capacity to sustain it or even hold on to it. So getting it does nothing for you because it won't last long. And that's why they're struggling. They don't want to talk about themselves because they don't want us to know the truth of how they started and how much Mel had that, and Martell was helping them and really got them, into their company where they were living, what was going on. They don't want that exposed. They don't want to feel inferior. So that was something I started looking at when he said his live, and Tisha did what she did on the reunion. And I just wanted to bring that to the front, that you're dealing with unequally yoked relationships with people who are mad at a person that has been gifted by God with a vision for something to do, and then has the capacity to complete it, whereas they want these things, but they don't have the mental, emotional, or intellectual capacity to be able to accomplish it.
I agree. And before I let you go, I just wanted to let me just give a shout out to Jean Lawson for the super sticker. Thank you so much, Queen, for blessing us in the palace. We really appreciate your donation. Thank you. And you know what? You did it on 10/28. I keep seeing 10/28. That's my birthday, y'all. So I'm looking at my timestamp when she donated to the palace, 10/28. So thank you, Jean. I really appreciate it. But let me ask you this, J. Michelle. When you talk about Tisha, is it a matter of wanting to or not knowing how to?
I think Mel has a more foundation with her relationship with her mom. Tisha doesn't have that foundation. Tisha's foundation was that she was given and spoiled to compensate for the lack of her maternal and her paternal parents not being, not getting what she needed from her mom. So Wanda was still being Wanda and doing Wanda. She was not at the intellectual capacity of the mother, which some of us aren't. At times when we physically have children, we're not intellectually ready to parent. So she was with her grandparents. I was like that too. My mom was 15 going on 16. My grandparents raised me. So I got that foundation from them. Tisha even said she was in Texas and about to go live and work, and that's where she was going. And she came back, and then Marceau was like, oh no, I'm not. She's in school, she's graduating, she's got something going for her, because I don't see, and they're sorors too. So then I was looking at that relationship and that dynamic, like, come on, that's supposed to be a sisterhood. And
But
I'm just
Tisha
looking at
started, 'cause
what
I'm a
would make her
Delta.
stay with him. But the
Tisha
only
didn't
thing that
really.
would make her stay with him was she
Mhm.
was pregnant. She was pregnant. And from that moment, he said, season 1, the deal they made in their marriage was that she would not work and be a traditional housewife. So her growth as a person, as she was gonna flower in Texas, got stopped right there. He stopped it right there. He's like, I'm not gonna let you get higher than me. You're gonna have this baby and stay in
Yeah.
this house.
Yeah.
And when I need you to do something, you will do what I need you to do. I don't mind you going to school. I'm just not gonna let you apply it anywhere. Get all the knowledge. I'll let you know what I need you to know. And it's funny because he said he can't work with Tisha, but yet he will work with Mel.
Well, he said why he can't work with Tisha. He's just feeding us a bite at a time. He said,
No, he don't want to work
hold
with
on.
Tisha because Tisha will be unleashed. And he doesn't want her to be known for her potential. He don't want her to tap into it. Because when Tisha taps into it, she's going to be looking at her situation, which she already started in season 1. That's why she was going to Mel. She was not satisfied. She knew she was capable of more.
Well, he feels like, and this is what he said on the reunion, and it took him 4 years to say it. He says, I would like it better if Tisha came into things by way of her own right. And as much as he get on my nerves, I have to agree with him.
But he doesn't allow it. He says a lot of stuff, but he doesn't open the gate for her to do it. He entraps her and cages her with children, the same way Martell tried to do Mel by continually sleeping with her to get her pregnant unprotected, because he knows you're not going to walk with her. He was thinking she's not going to walk with all these kids. And Marceau is the same way, because they're the same mind.
Well, let me ask
they're
you
the
this.
same narcissist.
Let me
weigh you down.
I have
so
to
you
play
won't
devil's
go.
advocate. Let me ask you this, because I got to be fair, right? I think you present a very strong argument. I'm not disagreeing with you, right? You may have 50%. We got over 900 people in the chat. You may have 400 people that say, girl, I'm riding with you. And then you may have 400 people that says, no, I don't know, sis. For those that may be like, I don't know, sis, I'm sorry. What's the difference between the women who do and the women who don't? When you say, because both Tisha and Melody have somewhat been in the same position. When you say he won't let her, how do you respond to the people that ask you? Then how do you explain the women that have been able to overcome a man like that? What would you say?
Her choice.
Okay.
She chose him because she even said it. She said it. Mel also didn't give up her independence when she got married. Tisha did. Tisha chose to give it up and let him whatever. She chose to pull herself back. That's why she was adamant and upset and said at the reunion, you heard what she said. She said, I put everything into this. That was it.
Yeah.
She don't see herself outside of that marriage, because I'm like, I was Tisha. I was Mel and Tisha mixed. I was operating and had all the gifts of Mel, but I let him limit what I would do. I remember the day he told me to stop dreaming. But as long as the dreams I dreamed had him being elevated, he was okay. He was okay when Tisha went to go for her real estate because she brought in that contract. He needed her because he no longer had access to Mel through Martell. So somebody had to help escort. He no longer had Miss Vanessa because Miss Vanessa was there. So he has to fill in. The next person that has any knowledge was Tisha. That's the only reason he allowed her to go to school, because the access he had to what he needed had been diminished. So thus here's Tisha. But he doesn't let Tisha go but so far. He wants Tisha to look good and do all this because he felt the back heat and he saw the money coming in from OWN. Because remember season 1, he said, this ain't what I signed up for. He literally was like, he won't even be here no more.
That's because they were talking about his marriage.
Yeah, and he knew he would be exposed next. And then he had to talk with Carlos, and Carlos said they are the same. Yeah, they're both conniving people. They are the same mindset. They say stuff to string fans along, and they just put stuff out there that's not true, and they know it's not true. They just say half stuff just to get people riled up. And I'll be like, I don't know why y'all biting these little bites we giving. The truth will come out. If you listen to a fool long enough, the truth will come out of them. Just let them keep talking. Don't say nothing back to them.
You have blessed us tonight, girl. You have really laid down some facts, some very strong arguments. I appreciate you, J. Michelle. I love it. I love it. I have no pushback.
I love you too, Queen Sheba. I will be catching everything, got my notifications on. I love it. Thank you.
Okay, my friend. Thank you. And I think there was a question in the chat. Yes, I am a Delta. Oh, I think it was Uppity that, yes, I am a Delta. Somebody said, Queen, please explain what you were about to say about Marceau difference in Tisha and Mel. I don't know. I don't remember what I was about to say. Give me a little bit of background. But welcome to the chat, Dear Retalk, and also SW. Oops, SW, I accidentally removed you. Let me put you back. Welcome, ladies. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for your patience.
Hello.
Thank you. You ladies, y'all are troopers. Y'all hung in there. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Dear Retalk, what's on your mind tonight, my friend?
What's on my mind is first of all, I'm getting over the flu, so I'm happy. I want to piggyback off the I forgot her name who just left. I understand what she's saying because we as women, and you have some men, we've all went through some sort of physical or mental or both. Everybody has had their share. It just depends on how long you stayed or whatever. But the situation that she's speaking on when it comes with Tisha, myself as well, I was so livid with Marceau because I just thought he was the meanest person. But as time went on, and then when everything, it was almost like a lightning bolt hit me at the reunion, when it was almost like Marceau was just pretty much like defeated to a certain extent. And I did on my channel the one thing that she's speaking about when Tisha brought that contract. I went because I wanted to go back to how everything looked. Marceau actually didn't even know Tisha was out. I have the whole thing on there. He didn't know. He was talking with his brother. They was actually bringing the mother in town, and they were fixing up this house for the mom. And so and it showed when Tisha had a meeting. She was driving in the car, and this, I think a realtor or broker, whoever called her, and she the one brought it to Tisha. Yeah. And so my thing is, yes, in certain situations, Marceau is heavy-handed with Tisha, but when Tisha really wants to get out and do something like with that contract situation, he had no clue that she had did that because she didn't even know that the contract. But I was just wanting to piggyback on that. But like I said, my whole thing is I was all over the place because that was my first review. I really was kind of upset because I've been waiting this long to get a reunion, and it was, to me, lackluster. The key points I came out of that reunion, those men have a stronger bond than they've ever had with either one of their women, including Mel before she got out. They had no idea what was going on. When I tell you, it's either Martell and Marceau looking at each other when Marita was talking, they were defending each other so much.
Yeah.
That reunion, the only thing it showed me, I love Carlos. I said it in my review. But Carlos, you cannot be part of the crew. You have Carlos, so I rated him as well. But this is the thing with me with Kimmy, and I'm kind of jumping around. The first time that I peeped that Kimmy was not even girl code. When and I cannot remember. I searched and I cannot remember what season. I know it was, I think, before Mel filed. But do you remember, guys, when Martell stopped by Kimmy's house, Kimmy and Maurice's house, but Maurice wasn't there, and Martell and Kimmy had a conversation in the kitchen about AC. And Kimmy, I'm thinking Kimmy's going to say what Destiny said later on. And when she was in Madani talking with Martell, and she was kind of getting at him about how he's doing Mel. And that's when, when he told her, oh, that's why you're in the position you're in because of your mouth. Kimmy did not. Yeah, Kimmy. Before that, Kimmy didn't, and this was allegedly because I wanted to be verbatim, but I could not find it. Kimmy did not say anything to him like, you were wrong for how you did, Mel. She was telling him, well, maybe you need to talk to AC. Maybe you need, she was, I kid you not, my mouth was dropped because I didn't expect that from a person of her caliber at that time.
Kimmy gives old school, I'm going to stick beside him.
I'm going to stick beside him. But the thing about it is, and I also said this too, and certain points I got, you get a little heated because that's the woman in us. My thing with Kimmy, Maurice, you cannot be in women's business, number one. But Maurice wouldn't be in women's business if Kimmy's not pillow talking with him.
Right.
Number one. Number two, when Kimmy set Maurice straight, when Maurice called Martell to invite him to her son's home housewarming, and when they all three sat down, remember Kimmy said that, well, she told Maurice it wasn't his place to invite Martell. She has an issue with him. My thing is, Kimmy speaks up when she wants to, and when I realized where Kimmy friendship lied with Mel, when she act like she could not hear when he asked her, when Carlos said, are you and Mel friends? Huh? You talking to me? Yeah, that part.
That's why I said in my review, I didn't say she said they were, I said she hesitated.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody said, that's your husband? Yes, that's him. Is that your friend? Yeah, that's my friend. That's my dog. Get over here. What are you doing? No, I'm not going to hesitate on anything that belongs to me. So when I think about psychological perspective, behavioral component, the angle that I come from, that small hesitation in a street life could get you what? So when you bring that level of thinking, is that your people? Huh? What? Boom. And I don't mean I'm being completely like power, like a complete like crazy power episode, but I'm just saying, what's the hesitation? If we're friends, we're friends.
Well, not only the hesitation, because I love to watch people's body language and their eye movement and different things. Tisha and Maurice, if you look at Tisha, you can tell Kimmy's been talking because yeah, you can tell. But to get to Tisha, I said to her, and I don't know why I kept wanting to call her Keisha.
Let me ask SW this real quick. SW, what are your thoughts?
I do piggyback what she said about the men, the boy code. They are more in tune and more loyal than they're with their wives. That's a fact. And I noticed that I made a comment in one of the on somebody's page, and somebody called. They wrote back to me and said, marriage is a sacred thing, and that person, and she's a female, she didn't feel that a woman should tell another woman that her man cheating. And I wrote back, I said, Martell, Marceau, and Maurice, they have a sacred man code more than for the wives. Another thing I was saying is for Kimmy and Tish, if there was a movie theater and we had those two women sitting in the audience with other women who they didn't know, who've been divorced, who've been cheated on, all that, and they watched season 1, 2, and 3, and 4, I promise you, Kimmy and Tish will be embarrassed because how they handle the situation, how they, gloated. Dr. Phil said something back in one of Oprah shows back in the early or 2000s. He said, if you have a friend and you saw their husband cheating, right, and you tell that friend, and then a couple weeks later the friend said, "Oh, it wasn't true." And Dr. Phil said the reason why people will do that to you because they don't want to see you. They don't want you to know what's going on in their marriage, and they don't want you to gloat to see what the turmoil going to happen in their marriage. And the other young lady who said that Melody should apologize and all that kind of stuff. Where I found out that women, some of us are dated in high school, some of us dated in college and our 20s. You know darn well you don't need to see your boyfriend or husband cheat. If a true friend come to you and say, "Hey, this was give you some evidence or give you some name or wherever it is," you gonna take that and you're gonna investigate yourself. You might ask them, but you gonna keep that in the back of your pocket. Tish was saying, "Oh, there's no proof." I said, "Tish, you have too many proof. You said it like I watching your commentary, and again, Tish, Martell sent you a picture. Martell told you everything you need to know, and that's proof. Marcel told you about AC. You didn't see AC with Martell, but you didn't tell Melody, Kimmy, and Tisha. They knew about it.
Mhm.
They ate her at house. They partied with her. They went out with her, and not one time did neither one of the women made a comment or say anything. And you in her face.
Well,
And in true reality, if that really happened, true reality, Mel would cut everybody off.
I think it goes back to Carlos King. Look, I stay after Carlos King like a vampire hunter. You hear me? I'm gonna come after him in at least every other video because I strongly believe, from a behavioral perspective, from a product, this is your product, dude. This is your brand. This is your show. It's not walking out the door without your approval. And Mel somewhat substantiated that when she said, if you don't want to hear about cheating, then tell quote unquote them to stop asking me because I'm not going to lie. Well, them to me would be the producers.
Yes.
But Carlos likes to hide his hands, and Mel called him out on the reunion and said, "You were there because you was on the phone with me." And I think Melody has taken so many shots and has taken, what do they call? Like when you get in trouble and you take the hit, you take the blame, you gonna take the charge, gonna take this charge. I'm the producer. That's because Mel was inexperienced. Y'all have to remember.
Yes.
4 years ago, she had a lot to lose. Imagine you getting the biggest deal of your life. Remember, Marcel got the biggest deal of his life 1 year, 1 month after COVID, and he bellied up.
Yeah.
Now he's in a lawsuit. Imagine Melody walking into reality television 4 years ago, trying to tell a producer what she ain't what she will and won't do. She didn't know any better. But guess what? She has 4 years of experience under her belt. She's somewhat been able to navigate a little bit. Now she's familiar with the territory. She's working on other productions. She's shooting movies. And now she's probably saying, hold up. Now, I'll be damned. I didn't know I could say no to this. I didn't know I could say that without nullifying, getting my contract in trouble, going against I didn't know I could call out the producer. Guess what? It's chestnut checkers. Yeah, you were there. You heard, what? And that's why Carlos is shot.
Yeah.
God is amping see, that wisdom and that knowledge, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Melody's able to move differently now because she has the knowledge to be able to propel her forward that she did not have 4 years ago, to be able to go up against a Carlos King, to be able to say, you know what, I got tired of this. So I had a different conversation with the higher ups to say, this show has got to give in some way. What are your thoughts, dear Ree? I'm sorry. I enunciated that strong.
No problem. And you're correct. And I think we all go through those stages and walks in our life. With Mel, I go back to with Carlos. Carlos really did the ultimate betrayal to Mel on maybe a few occasions. The first one, when he was trying to convince us, like, this is the person that fell in my arms and cried to me. She was vulnerable to him. Number one, she thought that because they were really thick as thieves at one point, which he really, but he switched from Melody to Martell. If this woman came to you and she cried and was vulnerable, and see, it takes time, like you said, time. Mel had to start seeing Carlos and everybody. Mel didn't even know about the backhanded deal,
Yeah.
None of us knew until Tisha started talking on, I think, was it a DJ Richie Sky? Yeah, we really didn't know. And so the thing about it is, and you're right, the more knowledge she was getting, like when she said on her live tonight, she was talking to a commentator, a content creator, and she said, for me, she said, she gave a situation when Tisha was having that event, and Tisha didn't want to do the producer or the forerunner, whoever wanted Tisha to call Mel and invite Mel, and Tisha said she didn't want to do it. So that forerunner was just going to cancel it. And Mel said no. And Mel said she went in her backyard, picked up the phone, and called Tisha and said, look, you're going to stop the biggest moment of your life because of something. I can't remember exactly what she said.
That was me that she was talking to. That was my interview with her. And my question to her is, I said, I don't think a lot of people understand from a product perspective that your responsibility is to toggle between two switches of being an executive producer and also being a member of the cast. From a cast perspective, what are your thoughts about producers and where do you draw the line and how do you navigate that? And that's when she gave that example. She's like, listen, basically what she was saying is I could have continued to be a cast and let her fumble her own career and let her basically get kicked off the show for refusing. Because when you think about it from an HR, basically she said, I turned on my HR hat. Because think about when you go to work every day and you don't like somebody, you cannot decide that you're not going to work with them and show up in a meeting because they're there. And that's the worst thing you can ever do in corporate America. And I teach my friends, oh, honey, don't ever say to your boss, I can't work with them. As far as they know, I like everybody. I love everybody. What time do I start? Yep. And Tisha didn't even have that basic knowledge, HR 101. What time do you need me to show up? How do you tell production what you're not going to do? And Melody ran to the backyard to save her career, to say, oh, no, boo-boo. Don't do that.
The budget was on the line. And I was listening, but I was walking around, and that was your segment was really enlightening, because when I did come back to the phone, Mel, a lot of times people, Mel, sometimes she has a straight face, and sometimes you can read her. It's a lot. Mel sees Carlos in a totally different light. I could see it. So she chose her words very carefully when she responded to you. So I could see that. But what I wanted to say is that I was speaking directly to Tisha. Stop saying people want to take or you to leave your marriage. Like I explained to her, I use myself as an example. I was in a 30-year friendship, and it took me years up until the 2022. The part is, and I gave her an analogy. When you are pouring into someone and you keep pouring and pouring, and when you turn around and your cup is empty, when you keep pouring into someone and you turn around and your cup is empty, you got to make sure that that person's pouring into you, or you don't have to leave that person. But I told her an old Southern saying, girl, grab your bootstraps and get it together. Like I told her, and I don't know if she'll hear my review, you can become a boss in your marriage. You need to stand up I'm not telling you to leave your husband. That's between you and Marceau. But at the end of the day, I kind of don't agree with the other lady that got off, because my thing is, yes, you can be weak, but there comes a moment, if you really believe in God, it don't matter how low you go, and I've had some low moments. You're going to come to a point where you realize that something has to give. And Tisha has had moments in this marriage on camera where she asserts her independence. So my thing is, what Marceau's going to do? He's going to leave her. He's going to stay. What are you going to do? If she comes up and she wants to start, the thing is, like you said, the man sat right there on the reunion and stated he wants her to get stuff in her own right. Period. And I think at this point, he wants her because they're drowning. So there is no more, I want you to stay home. She got to help too.
But see,
I think that's a man's cry for, I'm all like, quit looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
You want to work? Don't try to work with me. I already got this figured out, and we're in the red over here. If you want to work, go work, but don't bother me. Come up with something on your own. Don't try to get in something that's involved with Melody and Martell. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your dream, then you go. And I think Tisha don't really have a blueprint or a roadmap. That's my thoughts. SW.
But see, this is another thing that Marceau did himself, because I told this to another concrete creator, and season 1, right? In season 2, I chose to stay home and take care of my kids, right? Me and my husband, there's a marriage. We got custody of his daughter. She got sick on us, right? Got sick. She must have died 3 times. So she's now she's disabled, and I was working full time. So you could get a woman who had no kids, and he had 2 kids. We know this, but we got custody. There were 2 healthy kids when we got them, and then when his daughter got sick, and then she must died 3 times within 4 months, and then then she was diagnosed with a syndrome that's permanent for life. So I was still working full time. It was hectic. So I had to quit my job. I didn't have to, but I quit my job so I could be more at home. But for Marceau, he was sitting there and said she was a housewife. I knew something wasn't right because she acted like a housewife. Because the crap he was doing, a housewife had him checked a long time ago. So when season 2, he was saying we made an agreement. We made an agreement, and that's when I knew that before the show started, I bet you Tisha with a full-time. I bet you Tisha had a full-time job, and she made more than he did. And then the show came on, they flipped it, and now she should be 10 in this situation. I do believe when Tisha said, "Don't think I'm jealous. Don't assume I'm just another woman." That's the real Tisha we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? And then now years later. Now they in the red. Oh, go and go and work. You can, and Tisha could say, "Oh no, I'm not. I'm a housewife."
Well, Tisha, I'm sorry, but she don't spend money like a housewife. Well, yes, she do.
I know. I mean, what Marceau wanted the image to show, and this is what the men will play. The men will play games a lot. Like Martell, he said, if I had a Tisha or have an open marriage, and really to me, I'm sorry, I'm saying Marceau and Tisha have an open marriage.
Of course,
they have an open marriage.
I don't think she voluntarily signs up for it. I think she voluntarily chooses to see.
I think she know what's going on, and as they said that Tony Braxton mom said, she at peace, and you're not gonna file for divorce. If you're not going to put your foot down, you're not going to do none of this here. Leave it alone.
But that wrecked her, Tony. That same advice.
Mm-hmm.
That same advice has caused her some heartache. When you think about that, from how
And
that woman has not been able to move on from that hurt and pain of
yes,
sitting there having that cavalier attitude. And then when that man finally met a woman, name is Wanda. Ain't that her name? Ain't that
yeah,
lady name is Wanda?
That's all.
yeah.
Queen, but this
Man.
is my
But see,
question. Can I, brown skinned girl said exactly what I wanted to say,
Sure.
but sometimes I can come off too strong. But brown skinned girl had just stated that Tisha is a follower. And I remember the other lady was like, well, he won't let her. And this is this. The thing about it is, regardless of what Mel wanted to help her and show her, Tisha will never be. I'm not going to say she can never be like Mel, but the thing is, Tisha is book smart. She doesn't, I mean, it's just the whole point is you can lead her to the water, but you can't make her drink it.
no,
I
And
wouldn't even go as far as the saying book smart because I haven't seen her operate in that capacity.
I
All
know,
I
I'm
see
just,
or
well,
hear her
I
say,
kind of disagree with that. I think she did have the blueprint. She did a mommy cast broadcast. She had the thing here. What Tisha is, she can do the part, but she don't want to do it.
the mommy cast,
She not
she shouldn't even brought her
it's
mama
not being
on there.
motivated.
That was I
It's
didn't
not
like
being
it.
motivated. She know how to do it. She just don't
well,
want to do it.
when I think about book smart, that's having a knowledge and being able to talk. Like when I think about that, I'm saying I haven't been able to see her. A lot of scholars. You've seen people you hear them talk, you be like, they're just book smart by way of the
Exactly.
way they talk and speak. I know she has a lot of degrees, but I haven't seen that play out in just a conversation. Being
You
able to
almost starting
talk.
to look like Maurice to me.
Yeah, like a Martin Luther King. A Martha.
Martin Luther
You know?
King, yes,
Yeah.
with the tight suit on. But
But no, it's been a wonderful conversation. I know we're in different time zones. It's a little bit after midnight for some. Ladies, this has been phenomenal. Thank you all to each and every one of you tuned in from afar and close by. It's our first live together. This is just one of many. Anything that you would like to leave the audience with before we say goodnight?
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to say to the ladies, just take I'm gonna say this here. No one telling you to leave your marriage. You are the one who can only do that. If someone come with you with information, it's up to you how you handle that situation. But you are the one you're the one who's gonna feel. I'm gonna say this. You're the one who's gonna live with it. And regardless of what people think or what people say, you want to stay in that marriage, then stay in that marriage. But you're the one gonna live with it. And don't accuse someone else trying to destroy something or trying to do something that they cannot do without you doing it yourself. And also, thank you for this content. And I love your I love how you analyze things in your all your what do you call it? All your
Talking points.
Your talking points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so
Have a
much.
good night.
Riri, you want to take us out? Riri?
Yeah, I would love to. I just want to speak in general. A lot of times we do just speak to women, but I want to also speak to men and women. Regardless of what you're going through in your life, there's going to come a moment in time where you're going to either ask yourself or you're going to hear that voice say, what am I doing? What is my purpose and where am I going? Always know that we are placed here on this earth for something better. We all have a position on this earth to do. Sometimes we just don't know it. So don't ever, and I think I've heard you say this, Queen, don't ever allow anyone to dim your light. Don't allow anyone to tell you where and what you can do. It doesn't matter, relationship, friendship. If that relationship, friend, family, whatever, if it's not feeding and pouring into you, you have to say, okay, I love this person, but I need to go and get something that's going to pour into me and still love that person. But you have to feed yourself knowledge, love, just like you have to feed plants. So all I want to say to everyone, you know, times are hard, life is hard, but at the end of the day, we can only do so much. And I just want everybody to understand, in life, you don't have to be anyone's doormat. You don't have to, you know, take anything from anyone. If you know something doesn't feel right, sound right, either you say something or you digress and you walk away
quietly in this
quietly.
2023. And with that being said, thank you all. I'd never like to make you like, because I'm a firm believer, maybe you didn't hear anything you like tonight, and that's why you didn't hit the like button. But if you could just give me a little bit of grace tonight and hit that like button and bless me so that I can get off to a great start for 2023, I would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, if you want love, then be love.
That's right.
Until then, I will see you all soon. Thank you all so much. God bless you and good night.
God bless you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.